In 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, good luck.
All right, right off the bat, we get to skip all of the FMV cutscenes and such. And in true 100% fashion, we start with an RNG minigame. Holy freaking crap, that was amazing. What the heck? Okay. These guys are usually quite annoying, but wow, okay. Well,
Gold split incoming.
Yeah, gold split incoming.
I was kind of hoping they wouldn't be that good, but that was actually really good. Okay, so starting off the game here, local farm boy wishes to be a knight in the big city. Gets the opportunity of a lifetime when tasked with taking a package there by his dad. So right off the bat, we just have a bunch of main quests to go over.
Yeah, there's like a running gag between myself and another runner named Ella, where the game is essentially like blow for blow the opening to Twilight Princess. If you've played Twilight Princess, you know what I'm talking about. But right there, you're actually supposed to grab a crate and use that to jump up the ladder, but you can just skip that. I think that was found like, what, within the last week?
Yep.
It was like 2 days ago, yeah.
It makes me kind of mad. I mean, it would be so real.
Yeah, so just kind of going through the farm here, doing all the chores, but fast.
Yeah, it's worth noting, in basically every other speedrun of this game, we're already out of this area, like, within the first 30 seconds, usually. And that's because there's, like, a lot of stuff that we have to do in order to qualify for 100% for this game. Maybe now would be a good time to, like, talk about exactly what hundo means, since we're just finishing up some main quest here.
Yeah, so we have all of the main quests need to be triggered and cleared. There is actually there's an actual menu in the game dedicated to showing main quests, side quests, and treasure maps. So we have to trigger and clear all main quests. We have to complete all of the side quests, and we have to open all of the treasure chests, which are found with treasure maps. So we're not going to see one of those for a little while, but beyond that, we have the maximum health upgrade, maximum magic upgrade, maximum permanent health and magic upgrade, I should say. We have maxing out our luck meter, which is done by collecting clovers. We have the strongest permanent weapon, armor, and shield for both characters. We're going to meet the second character in about an hour. And the Cloak of Heroes and a specific set of basically all of the important items that we still have access to at the end of the game.
Yeah, that, like, still carry over between, like, acts and stuff like that. And so, you just saw us go out of bounds. Getting out of bounds is really easy in this game, and we'll talk a little bit more about how the out of bounds mechanics works a bit later, since we do a shortened version of it in 100% at the start. But all you need to know right now is that there's a bit of cutscene that plays when you exit out of the Ellis family farm for the first time, and that out of bounds bypasses that and saves some time.
Holy crap, I'm getting a lot of moat drops right now. I don't think I've ever gotten
really good.
I don't think I've ever gotten 2 there. So coming through Farm Road here, tours, home village, all of his friends and neighbors. We're just kind of helping everybody out with certain tasks. And that's kind of going to be theme for the next few minutes. So defeating all those plant monsters in the backyard normally does not yield moat drops, but this time it did. So we have the kind of elemental alignment system with this game. So right now I have just a weak fire moat equipped to my sword. Just you know, adds a little bit of extra damage, shaves off some time in killing all these enemies.
Yeah, for this quest, we only need to kill the giant spider here, so Deesh has done a specific set of attacks to nip it into the corner with this chest so that it cannot move. We only have, like, the first weapon of the game, so there's not too much we can do other than trying to cheese it. We get a potion of power here that'll be useful for later, and then the fog mote that we get from killing the giant spider is going to let us get our first treasure map here. We won't, discover the treasure at this treasure map for a little bit, But this is a required pickup that we need to grab for 100%. It's worth noting as well that... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, and so, like, it's not really too relevant for the run, but those chests do require a specific type of moat to open by smacking them, and so that one happened to be a fog moat, which the spider happens to drop there, which is nice, so...
Yeah, when we did that quest for Farm and Tessa as well, we also got our first upgrade with the luck stat. So we got a 4-leaf clover from her. Typically, you either get them from quests, chests, or there will be patches of clovers in the environment, and if you run around them, then a clover will spawn. So there's, and this will come into play with some of the other pickups, like the red eggs, where there are actually more opportunities to grab those power-ups than there are, like, room to upgrade it. So, like, you can get more clovers than there are, like, a maximum luck stat. So we actually have some choice in which ones that we pick up, because even though it's like a 100% run, we can't track more than, like, what we have access to in the pause screen, right? So we're going to prioritize ones that we pick up from things like quests and treasure chests that are 100% drops, and then we'll fill in the rest with stuff we can get elsewhere in the overworld.
And the same is also true for the health and magic upgrades. There are technically more that we have access to that don't do anything on a permanent basis because we can only upgrade our health and magic a certain number of times. So, running straight to Meridel here, there is a little side quest that we could have done right there, but I'm actually going to come back and do it later once we have our fast potions.
Yeah, we'll talk a bit more about those later, but right there you saw something where we jump and then do a strike attack. This allows us to re-grab the ladder, and it's the fastest way to climb up them in the game.
There's a lot of, like, micro movement on all kinds of surfaces in this game. You can hold the L2 to kind of effectively strafe, and that prevents us from getting auto jumps, and it's really useful and nice in a lot of places. So coming into Meridel, I've been doing it already several times, but this is the best showcase of the instant text glitch, where I open up one of the consumable items menus or the moat menu and hold square, and basically from then on, as long as I'm holding square, any automatically prompted text will just be shot through at the speed of light. So this would be even faster than a task could mash it. Why that happens, I have no idea. But it's cool, and we like it.
Yeah, I've asked Monster why this happens, and I have not gotten a solid answer out of her, so...
And didn't you say something about, like, it makes it, like, activate on the first theme of every, like...
Yeah.
Every time it shows up or something? I don't know.
It's literally faster than if you were mashing, like, a task. It's incredible.
Yeah, I think it, like, just makes everything frame perfect skips.
Yeah, so on the way to chasing the thieves here, we're going to pick up the pieces of this shattered sword. We're going to need that for a main quest a bit later. So it just makes sense to go ahead and grab that now.
And story-wise here, we come into the city, we get our package stolen. Children. And...
Next jump. Nice.
So we gotta chase these guys down and get it back.
So I'll briefly explain what that text jump is, just because once we get, like, the speed boosts, we won't really be able to see that too often. When you're talking to an NPC mid-air, if you continue to hold down the L2 button, you'll still be considered in a grounded state. And if you start running from there, it'll start to boost your speed. And you can capture a bit more of that speed by jumping at the end. So it's just a nice little time saver that we can do in the early game. But we won't be needing to do that for all that much longer. In, like, the old days, that was, like, the movement sauce.
That was, like, all we had.
Yeah, it was all we had. And, like, 7 speed potions. We're going to take on the arena next, because I believe for the shield, you need to do the whole thing for 100%, right?
Oh, we just do the first 2 fights, because it's not connected to a side quest or anything, it's just kind of its own thing. So I'm holding the attack button through the end of my combo in hopes that he takes a moment to attack me, and then I can... it won't give me recoil if I do that, if I start my attack, so then I get to attack him again as soon as he hits me. And this time I'm going to use an even faster combat mechanic, which is called shield canceling, where it's very self-explanatory. I'm literally just going to hold the shield button right after finishing a 3-hit combo and absolutely demolish him.
Yep. And so we technically didn't need to do that second arena, because the big thing we really want is the shield. We need a shield to beat the game, but we also just need it going forward to progress the main quest. But it's also important that we did that second arena fight, because it gives us a 500 point dialogue prompt. And that's going to be really important for something we're going to be seeing here for the next couple of minutes. I believe we're just running straight there now, if memory serves me correctly. Yeah, you're going to see this sign with a shield on it, and it's going to do something very, very silly.
Ladies and gentlemen, crashing the economy.
Oh, yeah. So you go for it.
So to kind of explain this, because we're just talking to a sign and gaining money, how this kind of works is that the game stores the text in memory addresses, and usually, they have a nice escape character. Well, the game is coded wonderfully, so if you get the money reward and then talk to this sign, it cuts off the escape character, which overrides the text, and so it makes it so it just keeps giving us the prompt for giving us the money over and over. And this can be done throughout the game for a lot of things. This is just the most useful version, because it gives us infinite money right at the start.
Yeah. There's a different version we use in other categories that's a little bit... It mostly just happens to do with where you go at the start of the game. But even though it doesn't look like it, the game is actually still reading the old part of the text box from the arena dialogue prompt. It's really bizarre. If you're interested in taking a deeper look into how all this works, Monster860 made a really good video. It's on YouTube about how the text boxes in this game work. It's actually kind of insane. I understand it, but emotionally it hurts me to try to wrap my head around. But in 100% specifically, we do this. This is kind of the OG setup for it. The other money dupe setup that we typically use is on a guardsman in Meridel, after turning in another side quest that we'll actually be doing later. And the reason for that is that is a faster setup to get started, because we don't have to fight the arena quests, but it takes 3 text boxes to perform each money dupe. Whereas with this sign, it only takes 1 text box, and depending on how much money you need for any particular category, one setup will be faster than the other. I think this setup now is only used in 100%. I think the the Shadow Glen side quest route is used in all bosses now, which is
I actually do a hybrid kind of route in all bosses. So for all bosses, it would be fastest, I think, to get the RNG chest and then do the arena route, but for consistency purposes, it's 5 seconds slower to do the Shadow Glen route and then combine it with arena route for money duping. So, been going at it for a while here. Gonna go until we get just under 120,000 Neopoints.
Yeah, this might seem like overkill, but it is not overkill.
It's not overkill. Because basically what we're doing is there's a potion in the game which increases your movement speed. Now we're trying to speed run the game, so having faster movement speed is obviously nice. And so we want to have enough potions to last us about 3 hours. So...
Yep. And for, reference, each potion lasts a little over a minute at double the speed. So it should save roughly 30 seconds for each potion usage over normal movement. So at the cost of duping money here for 3 minutes straight, and there we go, we get to save an hour over the course of the run or something like that. All right.
And if it wasn't apparent already, this game is held together by duct tape.
Yeah. Well, that's a generous way of putting it.
Well, no, duct tape and the power of friendship.
That is true.
So
we're
coming
gonna pick
through
up
Meridel, just kind of gathering up some side quests, some maps and stuff. Also, a little neat trick here, you can actually do the text glitch for like text options. I'm going to talk to this guy for 6 treasure maps, and I'm holding circle while mashing the text, and it's going to instantly select yes for me. Shout out to Charles for that.
I did not know that.
I actually also didn't know that. That's nice to know.
Yeah, I just started using that too. So we come in here, we're going to get 15 power potions and 150 Mirka speed potions.
Yeah, so
And
Deesh
here's
is
all our money.
Mashing the living Christ out of that square button.
We're breaking the economy.
Oh yeah. Yeah, this is essentially like Skooma from like Elder Scrolls Oblivion, but without the downside. It's a lot of fun. And this is kind of where like that strafe walking that Deesh was talking about earlier will really come into play, but we'll cover that a bit more later because like Meridel Village is really flat, so you don't really have to strafe walk all that much if you know what you're doing. There's a couple spots where it's nice, but
Yeah.
I believe we're gonna go talk to Master Torak right now. So, this is the guy we need sponsorship papers from because he's like, "Grr, my sword broke. I'm really mad. Leave me alone." So we get the pieces, and then we're gonna go take it to the swordsmith, and he's gonna reforge it so we can go do what we need to do.
So that's what we did at the start of chasing that squirrel guy, the Mirka.
Yeah, which
We
I forget if we
collected-
explicitly said it, but yeah, so we delivered the package, and now we want to become a squire.
Yep.
Yeah, it's funny
So that's
because
why
like,
we're
Twilight Princess.
it's funny because
That's why
obviously
we're
like
doing, that's why we're doing all this.
in the game, like we actually want to become a squire and then a knight, but the guy's just like kind of rushing, so he's like, we deliver the package and he's like, all right, next, and then we're like, wait, that's it? And he's like, what are you still doing here? Want to become a squire? And then we're like, okay, sure. And then he gives us all of our stuff we need to do. So we need to collect a sword and a shield, which we had already done at that point. Then we need to get sponsorship papers, which we just have done.
Yeah, we also
by-
grabbed a sword upgrade because we are ungodly rich at this point, and
Yep.
the damage upgrade is like actually pretty. Like in most speedruns, we don't even get the wooden sword because it's just so weak, and it also just like takes forever to get.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's gonna be a really nice damage upgrade.
So we've turned in our
that's actually
sponsorship
very-
papers, but wait, there's more. We need a parental consent form because we are a child.
No.
Yeah, and it's a really funny like reference to like the Neopets website because you needed one of those in order to like make an account back in the day, if I remember correctly. So it's like kind of a cool little time. It's also another Twilight Princess reference because you kind of needed to do the same thing. I think. I don't know.
Everything is
I
a
might be-
Twilight Princess reference.
Twilight
Now we're
Princess
gonna go
is just a
into the-
reference to this game.
Exactly. This is the highlight of Twilight Princess. 2 people will get that joke, but don't worry about it.
All right, so into this
If you
cave.
thought you couldn't get furrier than Twilight Princess, you're wrong.
So this is coming in here. This is the quest that we mentioned we would come back later to complete because we get to cover the same ground a lot quicker with our fastness potions. Up here, talk to this guy to start his quest, but we already have the thing he needs, so we just talk to him again and give him. Now we're running
gonna see him
all
like
the
a
way back to our
bunch.
house to get our sponsorship paper or parental consent papers.
Yeah, so we're gonna be big chilling here for a bit. It's worth noting that we're gonna see that prince like three more times over the course of this run. He's like it's important to get that side quest out of the way because that like unlocks so much more stuff that you have to go do. It's like kind of bizarre.
Yeah, he has one of the more expansive side quests in the game, and it causes a headache for routing.
There's like a whole sub area that is like dedicated to like a part of his side quest. It's like
Yeah.
like what?
We are home to collect our consent papers. But wait, there's more. Our sister has gone missing in the typical old, the kind of village creepypasta place where all the kids stay away from because it's really scary and stuff. So, yeah, natural, of course, very cliche. Our sister went there, so we are going to break the very fabric of existence to go save her.
Yeah. So I guess we should explain. So whenever you're out of bounds in this game, there is a massive invisible floor at y=0. And you're going to notice Deesh immediately kind of teleport up on top of some geometry. The game has a failsafe system to make sure you stay in the world itself, where if it detects something that you should be on top of and you're on this invisible floor, it'll snap you on top of it, and that's called an upwarp. And we can use these upwarps in order to hit loading triggers that cause the next area in sequence to spawn in. So Deesh is doing a specific camera angle to land on that loading trigger, which causes Shadowglen Woods to load in. This is essentially going to allow him to enter Shadowglen a bit faster and from a different entry point, which is going to skip a good chunk of the area. So there's going to be this yellow flower in the middle here that's like really annoying to get to otherwise that we can kind of grab immediately. And then we can go ahead. We normally use it to get a light mote as well, but we got one from the plants already, so it was kind of nice.
Normally,
yeah.
if you just walk into a moat, you get the... Oh, okay, we're doing this.
You
get
of course.
You get the like cutscene of picking an item up for the first time. But because we already got one from earlier.
So that starring egg right there is our first magic upgrade. So you're going to notice on Tor's mana bar that there's a little notch in it now. Every time we get one of those upgrades, it'll add that like little notch in that little extra section, and that applies to both characters. So once we get to Roberta in Act 3, I believe, is when everything will come together. And hey, a 12-leaf clover, just kind of sitting here.
So in regards to luck, there's 4-leaf and 12-leaf clovers. Fairly simple to understand. The 4-leaf clovers give you 1 luck, 12-leaf clovers give you 3 luck.
Yeah, and now we're going to be opening that treasure chest we grabbed earlier, which is going to be another clover. So clovers are like really weird with how they can spawn in, because there's that 12-leaf clover that's just kind of in the middle there, and there's also a 4-leaf clover patch. And it's supposed to spawn clover, but it won't. There's best with 4-leaf clover in it. It's so weird. I don't get it. It's such a thing. It means there's like more clovers than you can collect. Emotionally, it just hurts me, but it's like a whole thing. We're going to do from out here. Our goal is to get to the boss next.
Yeah, the bosses in this run. We have our first boss. Oh, nice. I missed the jump. The bosses in this run, none of them have elemental alignments. So even the very obvious plant monster is not earth type. It's in a pool of water. It's not water type. It's just nothing type, as all of the bosses are in this game. So what instead we use is, and I collected it just before getting that underground map chest, is we use the rainbow aligned mote. This is the weak version, a Nova mote. Power potion, we attack its tentacles, and then we can 2-cycle him by just doing a jump slash with that.
But it almost fight like the versions of the bosses, just because the game is just, it's a whole, I'm gonna say this like 70 times during this run, it's a whole thing, and if you fight one, it causes problems with the other. It's like a nightmare. But doing that is going to save our sister, give us a sponsorship paper, or sorry, the parental consent form, which we need, and then we're going to go back out of bounds again because there's a cutscene that we've been kind of dancing around where there's this like thief that shows up and he gives Tor like this amulet that's supposed to mean something for story purposes, but that doesn't actually like give us anything in our inventory, nor does it trigger like any quest flags. So we can bypass it by just scooting around Farm Road via out of bounds, and we can pop back in and be totally fine.
You know, thinking about it's kind of ironic that the guy who's like the thief gets mugged.
Yeah.
If you know,
And we
you
can
know.
just pop through the wall. Boom.
Oh,
Yeah,
I mean, sorry, the old beggar.
Yeah. Spoilers. No.
So, coming back to Meridol, we finally get to become a squire. And at this point, game is fairly vanilla but fast. We just have a bunch of squire chores that we're going to do in there. And then continue on after that.
Yeah, if it's not already apparent, the speed potions save so much time and movement. There's no fast travel system in this game or anything like that, so... Yeah, we get a free armor upgrade. So we look cooler now. Something worth noting as well is that visually, it only represents like the most powerful version of an armor, weapon, or shield upgrade that you've gotten. So for the ruling for 100% is that you only need like the most powerful tier of each upgrade, because we wouldn't be able to track the other ones otherwise. We will be getting some that we don't technically need because it's required for quests. Yeah, we're gonna go take a nap, and that's going to progress the story.
And now we're learning we're learning how to use the sword that we already know how to use.
So we went ahead and equipped the fire emote just because we will need it for a later sword tutorial. So it's going to go between like sword tutorials and some chores that we have to do as a squire for a little bit here. There's going to be some other stuff we'll need to do here, such as opening some treasure chests that we got maps for, as well as some of these chores and some pickups that we'll need to do as well. And now for everyone's favorite part of the game, catching Neopets. I'm surprised it's not letting you pick this one up. There you
yeah,
go.
it does that. There's like an entire like quadrant of the room almost where if these guys walk into it, you just can't pick them up. Oh, that's really annoying that two of you are facing me right now, but whatever.
They're really cute, but they're really annoying.
Yeah, especially for the purposes of the speed run.
Yeah, sadly, as of now, we don't have a way of speeding this up. Maybe someday.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
I thought he was gonna see me there. That was close. So we gotta catch 5 of these guys. The cleaning lady in here. She's God dang it! I didn't see you. She's got a big heart. All of the knights want these guys gone because they're kind of they're a little bit invasive, but she just wants them to be released back into the courtyard peacefully, calmly. No. We just kind of have to wait for this guy to stop at this point. He's the last one. But yeah, we gotta... Okay, that's not too bad. So... Just,
You didn't drop... Well, we'll see. We'll knock on wood, but you haven't dropped one this time, so that's nice.
You
really just are preying on my downfall. You guys, man.
I'm not praying on your downfall. I gotta...
It worked.
The attempted jinx was so mean. So now we have more training, and then more chores. That's kind of the cycle at this point in the game. Training, chores, yada yada yada.
Yeah, outside of the Neopets, this section is like really fun to run through in the run, because even though it's like a lot of quest stuff, it's mostly like movement in a weird way. So like getting that like quick spin to come out and like doing it, 'cause, like a lot of what Deesh is doing here too is making sure that the dialogue skip glitch is primed after doing all these actions. So even though it doesn't look like too much is going on, there's like a lot of little like APM moments throughout all of this, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. So we actually have to that point, there are actually 2 attack buttons in this game. The first is the circle button, and the second is the R2 button. So I can't press the circle button while I have the menus up, because then that would just do something else specifically for the function of that menu. So instead, I just press the R2 button. Coming through this sewer area, this is clog duty. So we gotta come through here and clear 5 clogs. We're gonna collect a couple motes along the way. So, within the next about 10 minutes or so of the run, we actually need to collect 1 of every type of mote. Because, and technically, for routing purposes, we don't, strictly speaking, need to do it right now. But it's just convenient.
So much faster. Something you'll notice a lot in this section too is that Deesh is kind of running on thin air. That's that combat strafe we were talking about earlier with holding down L2. Generally speaking, in this game, you are at your slowest when you are jumping. You're at a default speed as opposed to your Potion of Mirka speed movement, which is much faster. So by holding down L2 while like running off of a ledge, you get to maintain that potion speed for longer, which in the old days mattered a lot more because you got more value out of your individual potion charges. But in the case of like modern day with the ability to just duplicate money, it more so means that you just get faster movement for longer. And there's a ton of little things that can also cause what are called auto hops, where the game is like, it's like in Ocarina of Time where like you walk off a ledge and the game makes you jump so that you don't have to manually press jump. But this game is kind of interesting in that it really likes to think that you're auto-hopping off of something even though you're definitely not. It's a little jank. And so because of that, a lot of times Deesh will be holding down L2 in order to like avoid some of these like auto-hop positions that are kind of well known or understood already.
There we go. And another little movement thing I've been doing, I haven't really mentioned it that much. At the very top of ladders, just before we'd actually just normally climb off of it, I'm pressing the square button to let go of the ladder, and because I'm pretty much already at the top, it just kind of sets me down right on the land. It's a very micro optimization, but you know, it's there, it's easy, might as well do it. So we have to talk to that guy to start the next part of our chores quest. Come up here, get another treasure map. Now we're going to pray that these guys are nice to me. So this part of the
didn't last time get like knocked off like 6 times.
We don't talk about it.
Yeah. I think it was the like practice run we did beforehand.
I think that's what it was, yeah.
Don't do it.
There we go.
Only once.
Yeah, that guy sometimes likes to just knock me down. Very annoying. But he was nice. So these guys usually don't do much of anything. Basically, all the whole deal with this is the people of the castle want these nests taken out because the birds are making too much noise. They're too loud. They're disturbing the peace. And so we need to break 5 nests. We don't actually need to touch the enemies themselves. So yeah. Come through, just kind of ignore them for the most part, but they can be disruptive. Fun fact, there's a text trigger there that we just jumped over. Oh, nice. Normally I have to kill that guy to get that nest, but he was nice. Now we have attacking innocent tortoise. because he is useful for the speed run.
Nothing like animal cruelty
Of course.
in our anthropomorphic animal game.
Yeah, so pretty much all like the treasure chests like in and around like Muriel's castle courtyard are like all kind of self-contained. So while we're doing all this now, it kind of makes sense to go ahead and do this instead of like doing it like during Act 3 or something like that. Which my guess is when the game kind of expects you to do some of these, because like I don't know. I when I was a kid, I never really went into the upstairs like part of Myrtle Castle during Act 1. I just kind of stayed in my lane. Maybe I was a goody two shoes. I don't know, but
Can you do those chests Act 3? I guess probably, right?
technically, yeah.
So the moat, it was a much like brighter, more orangey star that we got from the last chest outside. That was this guy over here, the supernova moat. And that's going to be one of our biggest friends, pretty much, for all the bosses. So that is the powerful, neutrally aligned magic. Oh, nice. Got the cycle there.
Nice.
I can't believe you made that.
That was actually, like, probably the cleanest I've ever gotten that, too. So yeah, the fireballs there for the training appear on a cycle. And you just get your movement right, you can do it. But anyway... So we check in with the guy to confirm that we broke all the Crocobeck nests. We get the keepsake for the noblewoman who is wishing to court one of the knights. Give it to one of the knights to finish that side quest, and then finish our training. And now we have a mission to Cogham.
I love that little animation he does where his head like
Where he has to swallow.
dances from left to right. It like swerves from left to right. It's like so weird.
Very silly.
And it's just so funny to see like how different Hundo is from like any other speedrun, because we got in a lot of other speedruns we go to Cogham really quick into the run, and we're just now heading there. And we're going there pretty much the normal way, as far as I'm aware. Unless we do the water walk now.
I don't think you need to. Right?
So this is the point that we need to have all of the moats by. We don't actually have all of them, but the side quest here is that we need to have one of every type of moat in the game. So we have a bunch of them, but basically we can just buy the last few here. So there we go, and she gives us a regular Nova moat.
Which is not a great reward, but you know.
Not the best, not the worst. Another chest here. So some chests in this game, as you open them, just a quick safety save here because it's been a little while. Some chests in this game, when you walk over them to open them, the map chests I should say specifically, sometimes you can't like get away from it before picking up the item, but other times you can. So whenever we can get away with it, we do so. Coming through here, the story here is that these centaur guys, the Ixies, are always causing troubles with this peaceful little mining village, and they need to be driven out of this whole region of the world. So we're just gonna kind of casually come in and absolutely demolish a few of them with the power of power potions.
Yeah, I think you're able to do this all in one power-up potion. I don't think we really talked about the power-up potions all that much. They essentially double your damage output, which at this point in the game, since we only have like the second worst weapon available to us, it's really helpful. 3.
Yeah,
And the
sometimes
archers
these
love
guys
to
like to
just
dodge.
say no. That's like one of the big things is sometimes enemies just like to say no, you didn't hit me, and it can be a little annoying.
Oh yeah. So we did it, we drove them back, but the mayor's not happy because first off, they only sent a squire, even though we tried to get our supposed assigned knight, and he was just kind of sitting there eating and too busy to worry about these guys. So he wants us to basically go and completely drive them out of this region of the world. Now what's supposed to happen here is I'm supposed to clip into the wall, but unfortunately I'm clipping into the tree. There we go.
There
we go.
Took far too many tries. And then... So going back to activating out-of-bounds load triggers, there are a couple different types. So first we have collision-based load triggers, which is the majority of what we've seen up until this point. But there are also more like area-based load triggers, so to speak, which activate just when you go into a certain area. They're much more box-shaped. So I'm gonna run until I'm looking at a timer. And then run straight over here. And as soon as all that disappears, there we go. Turn this way, and there we go.
Nice.
Nice job.
That's really dicey. Nice, nice, nice. That skips most of like the Cogam Valley area, and it looks like it's a big runaround, but it's way better. Because again, a lot of times with these areas, there's like a lot of places where you're supposed to jump, and this just kind of allows you to just scoot by all of that while still maintaining full running speed.
Yeah, and he might make everything look easy, but it's definitely not.
Yeah, that setup is like super specific. So.
Yeah. It's very specific.
I want to say that. What does that save? Like a minute?
It saves like,
movement?
I think it saves like, I don't remember what the exact number was, but it was at least half a minute.
It's got to be a while because you get past even where like Maryland Mines is or whatever.
Dude, no. Oh, that's so
Wait,
dumb.
That
So I just
sucks.
that genuinely hasn't happened to me ever in months. So gotta go back through the last like 3 minutes of the run. That's really unfortunate. Basically what happened there was I got hit, and I don't even know what causes it. I don't know how it happens. I got stuck in the falling animation, and that is an instant soft lock. So really good thing that I saved here. Although I could have stood to save right in front of the boss as well.
Yeah, that is more likely to happen on emulator compared to console, but we specifically set up the emulator settings to try for that not to happen. So that happening during a run is very rare, and especially at that moment, it just kind of sucks.
Yeah.
I've never seen that happen before. So there's like nothing you can like. They can't even hit you again, and that fixes it.
So,
or?
yeah.
No, they won't even hit you.
Yeah, nothing you can do to fix it. It's just an instant soft lock.
That sucks.
I can maybe test it later and see if there's a way to get out of it, but nothing I've done got to get you out of it. You could probably get out of it if you have Roberta and like do a revive, but we obviously don't have her.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, and you'd have to kill Roberta, which is not ideal. But we get to see the out of bounds again, which is cool.
Yeah. Hopefully with fewer tries this time. The looks of things, not quite.
Not quite.
There we go.
Here we go.
There we go.
All right.
That
That part can be a little bit annoying as well because the water there is like, it's like a void out plane, so it can actually just cause you to teleport back in bounds.
Yeah, because in this game there are multiple types of water. There's instant death water, which is instantly kills you, and then there's teleport water, which the teleport water will send you to a designated like respawn point in that map, and we use that a lot to just kind of skip backtracking in some areas. Or some areas it could also be used to, like, warp to places you aren't supposed to be. I don't remember if we do any of that in this run.
Oh yeah, there's plenty of it.
Nice.
Yeah, because like, I think because usually that's good in, what, like, Myrtle Plains?
Yeah.
That's usually the good spot for it.
I'm gonna,
are you gonna risk it, or are you gonna safety save in front of?
I'm gonna, yeah. No more of that. And thankfully, there's no longer anywhere in this run that we need to worry about keeping a save file. So.
Yeah, because for whatever reason, it is specifically the Ixies here which cause it. Like almost no other enemy does it. There's just something about them.
So they drop red juppies here, which is a healing item. Not really important. The important part is I really do not want to collect one of them. Whoa, that was an accident. Just did a lunge attack there. That actually is...
Was sick though.
Yeah, that actually is. I do actually use that for like a couple tiny optimizations. But yeah.
There we go.
So
nice.
I preferably, and thankfully I didn't, I don't want to collect any red or purple juppies if I can avoid it. Because they become useful in just a little bit here later.
Yeah.
So
it's a really bizarre glitch interaction that'll matter after. Well, we're gonna be doing that kind of stuff next, right?
Yeah, pretty much now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I don't think I've actually really seen too much of the floating item stuff yet, so that'll be fun.
no, that comes right at the start of Act 3. So the part of the story here is that we need to defeat the Ixie chieftain and bring his eye patch back to the village as proof. Also, Gigatad.
Gigatad!
But we can just kind of come back without collecting it. And you can see through this cutscene, we're still gonna like kind of kneel and present the eye patch to the mayor there, and he's gonna pick it up and look at it, even though we didn't actually touch it. So that's kind of funny. It's not required for 100% because we don't actually keep it after that cutscene. So in here, we are going to collect the next sword, which is going to make the next boss fight that we have to do very much easier.
Yeah, so we're gonna safety save here again, and this
I'm
is where we're
definitely doing a lot more safety saving now.
Yeah.
Because there honestly aren't like crazy crap tons of places that the run can just up and die like that, but I might as well.
All right, so we're gonna see a glitch here called a water walk. You're gonna see Deesh pause buffer until a specific visual cue, and then press the stored strike button. This is gonna clip Deesh underneath the part of the water that either kills you or teleports you, depending on what Lizard was talking about earlier. And this is an out of bounds sequence that we see in pretty much every run besides No Cloak. Deesh is gonna run forward until another visual cue that's going to cause this area to pop in, and then we're gonna turn around. So there's two visits that you normally do to Cogham. There's one you do in Act 1 and another you do in Act 3. And so what we're going to do is we're going to do all of the Act 3 related stuff during Act 1, which incredibly enough doesn't mess with like the quest completion flags in a way that like ruins the 100% or anything like that. So we're going to upwarp onto this upside down cone and then fall down after hitting another loading triggered piece of geometry. That little tube up there is the elevator into the mines here, which we can then upwarp into, and it gets us into here early. Nicely done. That was really solid. We get a couple of things here. We get a hammer that we need to return for a side quest, and then we're also going to, different than every other category that comes here, we're going to need to save all the villagers in here.
The funny thing is about this part is, so basically at this part in the story, which again, we're not supposed to be here, all of the villagers have been kidnapped by basically an apparition of the Ixie chieftain and his now much darker all purple and stuff henchmen. So we're supposed to come through here, free all of them, and then fight the Ixie Chieftain to free the mayor. Funny enough, we can just not do any of that. If we want, we could just completely come through here without freeing any of these guys, but for the sake of 100%, they do have their own story flags. So they are related to main quests. So we have to do it. But yeah, it's funny because even if we don't, they're all just fine afterwards anyway.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, this is where the L2 combat strafe comes into really big importance, because there's a lot of random bits of geometry that can either snag you or cause Tor to auto-hop. And so there's specific spots where Deesh is holding down L2 and like moving the stick in certain ways to get it to work properly. One thing in particular that's really hard to master is a diagonal strafing movement. So normally when you're strafing, if you move too far to the left or right, you do a sidestep animation that's really slow. You kind of see it every now and again, just when we're trying to adjust our movement. And so that's slower than our normal run speed. So what you would think you would want to do is instead turn with the camera. But if you turn with the camera, it keeps you stuck in place. So in order to turn while combat strafing, you need to hold something that I jokingly call ESS position, which is just like outside of up, so either left or right on the control stick. So you're holding up and then very slightly to the left or right. And what this does is it allows you to like run forward at like a sort of very slightly diagonal angle, which for some reason allows you to turn toward with the camera almost freely. And so that's kind of how like you're able to operate a little bit. Yeah, see right there, this is another auto hop. That's why we hold down L2 all the time. There's a lot of little things that it like, especially 100%, it can be death by 1,000 cuts. We're gonna take the safety save because lava kills you instantly.
don't want to make that mistake again.
All right, so we have the Ixie Chieftain. So probably noticed the first iteration of this guy was quite easy. He didn't really put up much of a fight, and he usually doesn't. This guy is even easier because as soon as you attack him, he starts throwing his axe up and trying to do like a ground pound attack. And if we attack him quick enough, we could just interrupt that, and then he doesn't get to do it.
Yeah, it's honestly harder to die to him than to kill him.
Yeah, genuinely.
Like, even if you don't stun lock him, his regular attacks barely hit you anyway.
That little bit of movement there is really scary, actually. There's a
absolutely
glitch that
terrifying.
Can occur at high... even at your base running speed, there is a chance that auto hops will just fail on ledges and you will just fall and die. And that chance is increased if you have a higher run speed with the Mirka Speed Potion. So I didn't want to say anything until after Deesh was done with that section, but we're good. And then there's going to be a clover patch. This is how you're typically expected to find 4-leaf clovers. We're just going to grab that one on the way, and then I forgot that we don't need supernova mode, so we can just fall into the water.
Don't need the supernova.
Alright, so coming back through here, we're about to get the super fun, important speedrun item, also Gigatad once again. We get and this is also required for 100%. We mentioned earlier, it's the Cloak of Heroes, or the Tattered Cloak, whatever it's called, the potato sack.
Oh yeah.
And if you thought the game was broken before...
Oh yeah. This is a magical potato sack, and as I like to say, every time we do something like this, it's going to make all of our hopes and dreams come true.
Yeah, somehow the devs have made an item that can basically make the game do anything we want.
It's beautiful. So now Kogum is kind of in an Act 3 state, so we can do all of like the side quests that you can do here that are normally like Act 3 exclusive, which is going to be really nice for setup for later. We're not gonna. I don't think we're, as far as the route goes, we're gonna do a whole lot of that stuff right now. But
yeah, no.
It is really nice.
Yeah, I think we just started. I think we
like we get the
hammer
sliders.
Okay. So A bunch of stuff did just happen there. So we finished the side quest that we got the little hammer in the abandoned mine, the lava area for. We finished it. Then we started another quest where we need to find like a special stone for a guy. And then we started we got the items for one of the quests we started way back in Meridel. And then killing one of those Draconax is actually the start of another quest we're gonna do most of later, where we have to collect a bunch of their fangs. So we only collect one right now, and we'll explain more about that later. But for now, here's why the cloak is so useful. So specifically, I want to jump on that ledge to get low gravity, and then just yeet.
Nice. So that's called a mega jump.
Yeah, the cloak basically lets us defy gravity.
It's pretty beautiful. There's another way you can get up here with something called a ledge fly, which we'll see a bit later. But essentially what just happened is that by equipping the cloak, it changes out Tor's character model, and you can decloak at will by just attacking. And so what happens is when you decloak, the game causes a ton of lag, which allows you to essentially buffer a jump and a pause input at the same time the moment that the lag stops. And so if you do this, unpause, the game will consider you to be running on ground for a little bit, which allows you to input a second jump. And the game combines the velocity of both jumps together, giving you a mega jump. And that let us get up and over there without having to deal with that turtle who takes forever.
So this right here is the reason that I didn't want to collect either red or purple juppies. So thankfully I actually got one dropped from that juppie patch there. There are several things in this game that actually take away our ability to do cloak glitches. One of the things that gives them back is picking up an item for the first time and getting that cutscene. So I found recently, as we do another mega jump up here, that there's actually a very specific series of things we can do to take away cloak glitches and also to give them back. So taking them away happens by opening a chest. Nice mega jump. Here we go. And like I said, we get them back by getting an item pickup cutscene. So we open the chest, we lose cloak glitches right here, but we actually get them back by picking up the red neg, which is a health upgrade.
Oh, do we not get the clover here anymore?
Nope. And come to think of it, I want a safety save here just in case.
Huh.
Yeah, so this is for a side quest. We have to defeat that guy way over there.
Now we're gonna see probably the most famous glitch in the game. Barely under an hour in. This is the ledge fly. It allows you to hover through the air. So what's happening, in a similar vein to the previous cloak glitch with the mega jump, we're essentially at the same time that we initiate that ledge hang animation, we do a jump. And that combines the velocity of the jump into the ledge hang animation, which allows us to essentially float for a bit. And so that float has a bunch of different properties that we'll see later, and there's a bunch of different ways that you can influence the angle at which that hover sends you. But in this case, Deesh did a pretty much horizontal ledge fly, which is probably one of the more easy, I don't want to say easy, but probably one of the more straightforward ones to set up. There's a lot of variables. Yeah. One of the less scary ones. And
yeah.
Then, are we gonna do the really cool warp strat here, or is that?
No, we're just going straight back to America.
Oh, we gotta go back to the castle.
That's right. Yeah. I think I'm thinking Act 3.
Yeah,
we have to go
though.
We have to go turn on all the quest stuff.
Yeah. So running through Meridel at this point, we weren't supposed to have done that second part of the stuff we did in Cogham, but we did. Thankfully, it doesn't really affect anything outside of Cogham, so we get to come in here, turn in the quest for this guy with the flower that we picked up in Shadow Glen, and then turn in the quest in the gift shop way over here where we picked up those vials of green juice from the spiders just outside of Cogham. And then for our heroics in saving Cogham, we get knighted officially at the castle.
Hail Tormund, Knight 3rd class.
Yes.
Yippee!
So another thing to talk about is, it's not coming up too soon, but probably should mention right now, there are a lot of things that I actually otherwise probably would be just as fast as we otherwise do them, if not faster, that I'm actually skipping right now in favor of replacements later. So for example, there's a clover in the Haunted Tombs where we got that skull just now that I skipped over, as well as many opportunities for Draconac Fangs that I'm specifically waiting till later to get. Also, another thing is a Starry Neg purchase for Magic Upgrade in Cogham, and that's because of a glitch that we're going to do later, and I'll wait to explain it until we actually get there, but just to put that in mind. So now at this point, there's another mission that all the other knights are being set out on, and because we just returned, they don't really want us to go. They're like, hey, get your rest, it's okay. But we want to go. So the next morning, nobody has returned. So now, since we're the only ones left in the castle, we've been sent off to go find them, figure out what's going on. But first, one last quest to turn in. And if we don't turn in all these quests here, we can't do it later.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird, like, cutoff points for a lot of stuff in the game, where it's just like, you cannot do this after a certain point. We're going to see another speed clip where we're going to pause buffer this one, so once we see that Tor is clipped into the wall, we pause, and then we jump out. And then this is going to allow us to get into Illisan's Glade a lot faster. This is a really useful strat in other runs too. Oh, we're gonna see. Oh yeah, that's right. We do a cloak dash here. We like never get to cloak dash. That's sick. So a cloak dash is essentially the first part of a mega jump where you just don't buffer a second jump, and that allows you to kind of run midair up and over. You can actually chain those together to build a ludicrous amount of speed if you have enough time and willpower to do so. But it's usually not worthwhile. But in that spot right there, it's a little bit faster than just mega jumping. So. Yay!
So, another interesting thing about cloak dashing is that it actually doesn't take away our low gravity. So when we grab ledges from being in the air, when we jump, our gravity value is set to 0.3 or sometimes 0.35. But if we grab a ledge while in midair, it keeps our gravity value at that 0.3 or 0.35 until we jump again. So
yeah, so you saw how Tor just like slow fell like off of that ledge right there. That's because we're at that lower gravity value. And the reason why this is even in the game in the first place is because when you're on solid ground, you're at what's called 1.0 gravity, just so that it doesn't look like you're floating off of ledges when you're like running on solid ground. Even though that's what we're kind of doing a lot anyways. But in they made the jump floatier by just adjusting your gravity value, and that gravity value, like if you store it at that like 0.30 or 0.35, will influence things like cloak glitches. So your mega jumps will send you higher because gravity's not pulling you down as much, and then other things like ledge flies will be affected as well. But we won't really be seeing that for a little bit.
Yeah.
Because we're gonna go take on Narfus next.
Will we get the quick kill?
Yeah, so if this, I'll go ahead and explain hopefully what we will see in ideal conditions. We have the Supernova mode equipped because it just gives us a flat damage bonus against everything, even if it's no element. We're also going to use a Potion of Power, and then Deesh is going to go for a specific setup where we're going to wait, like, just a hair, and then, like, hold forward and rapid jab at a specific time instead of doing timed sword strikes. And if it works properly, you will hear a very loud noise, and the boss will melt instantly. It's not 100% consistent. Ooh, yeah, baby, let's go!
There we go.
Nice!
Let's fucking go, dude.
That's how it's done, baby. And that's the
That is
Narvis
so
quick kill.
satisfying.
There we go.
Awesome. So it's worth noting as well that this cutscene takes away your cloak glitches, so Deesh is going to have to go ahead and pick up a neg drop from a neg patch nearby in order to restore cloak glitches. However, there is a very rare chance that you don't get a neg drop at all. It kind of stinks, but we got a bunch, so that's good. We're going to leave the stripe neg behind just in case we need it for something else later. And then we're going to do another ledge fly here. So one of the cool properties about ledge flies is that they give you no clip. Because when you're in a ledge hang state, you don't interact with wall-based geometry. You interact with things like floors, but you don't interact with walls. So you can use ledge flying to get out of bounds. And you notice that like the ledge fly like canceled super quick. And so ledge flies can end when a couple of different conditions happen. The easiest one to trigger is when your ledge fly goes a far enough distance underneath the ledge that you perform the glitch at. And so we're going to be doing an out of bounds string here. We're going to go ahead and wait here for just a sec for this map to load in. And then we are going to go essentially wrong warp into Meridel Castle here. So there is a leftover trigger. Are you going for this?
No. So.
Oh wait, you just go into Meridel regular. That's right. That's
in
right.
other categories, we would actually do a bit of a different set of movement to get straight into Meridel Castle. And the reason we need
but it's just slower. Yeah.
Yeah, the
okay.
reason we need to do that is because we wouldn't have gone through all the main quest stuff to actually unlock the front door of Meridel Castle. So instead, from here, we can just kind of come through. And we have the lunge attack that I accidentally did earlier to get us just inside of that.
Yeah, the game does not tell you that the lunge attack exists, by the way.
It's supposed to, but they cut out the quest for it.
Oh, that's a really interesting way of setting that up.
Yeah, that was really clean.
Nice. That's the Ottoman ledge fly. That's one of the hardest ledge flies in the entire game. Deesh went for like the opposite. I call it the opposite setup because it sends you the opposite direction of where the loading zone is, but that allows you to get out of bounds and just get straight to the end of the collapse sequence. There's another way you can do that by doing a mega jump and then speed clipping out. I think there's also just another raw speed clip setup that I've been told kind of sucks. But now we're in Act 2, so that's Act 1 complete, and this is Roberta.
So right here, there's a little fence clip I can do over here, but I'm not going to go for it because it could kill my run.
Thank you.
So
where's the fun in that?
I basically at this point in the run, safety saving is not an option. Like not from here on out, but for these next 8 minutes or so, just because if we do that at this point in Act 2 here, it actually will take away the cloak. Well, specifically if we save and then quit and come back into the file. We don't have the cloak when we get to Act 3. So kind of just take things more or less safe at this point. So this part of the run is pretty vanilla.
Nice.
At this point, we basically this is the introductory sequence to our second character, Roberta. And so our inventories are split. So we don't have access to anything that we had as Tor. We don't have any of the speed potions, power potions, money, none of it. We just have our own allowance and a few juppies. So for story purposes, we defeat Narfis, but the Earth Fairy Illison is, she has her charm taken away and she's knocked out, and then all the dark clouds and stuff take over Meridel. So we have to get back to the castle, warn the king, but the king's already been possessed and taken over, so we need to escape, which thankfully we do. And then the game puts us into Act 2. So Tor was our kind of melee sword attack guy. Roberta is the range attack with wands and spells character. So we have a couple side quests here. They're like barely out of the way. So, climbing up this wall. We have some annoying collision on this tree branch up here, but basically the lady wants us to save her Harris, who climbed all the way up in the tree. There we go, we got it. And she gives us a power potion as a prize.
It's actually really nice. It's one less that we have to do for.
Yep. Well, they're actually going to use it right now.
Oh yeah, for the book. That's right.
Because the books suck.
Yeah.
So
I can confirm that the book indeed does suck.
Yeah, ditto. So we come through here, and this is just the wand tutorial. We've already collected. We don't have our wand because basically Roberta here wants to. She's the kind of a diplomat. She's this niece to the King of Brightvale, and she wants to become a sorceress. So she's been training in secret, but she forgot her wand in Brightvale on this diplomatic mission. So you have to kind of make one out of the surrounding elements. And then there we go, the book is dead. Ding dong, the wicked book is dead.
We're gonna go ahead and talk to the painter one more time to turn in like other side quests. Yeah, there's literally only 2 like extra side quests that you get in.
And they're hardly even side quests, because like I feel like they should just be main quests, honestly.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Yeah.
But now we're gonna pop that potion of Mirka's speed. We only get 2 in this act, and so we need to be very deliberate with how we use them. This is where kind of that stuff we were talking about with the movement comes into play. We cannot afford to like waste too much time mid-air because we lose out on how much potential speed we can get.
At this
This
point,
next part of it. Oh, sorry.
Oh, it's fine. It's just story. We finished our meeting, so we're going to sleep in our bed, and then we discover that this place has been taken over by the evil dark clouds and such. So we need to save a mystery screaming voice by creating a distraction, and then when the culprit leaves to check it out, we'll come back this way and save her. So there actually was a clover as well that I could have picked up, but again, I leave it for later for purposes of the glitch that we're going to do coming up soon.
Yeah, so we're purposely not spending that second potion yet because we're going to be unlucky.
Womp womp.
Slight flashing lights warning for this room. Oops. Because
this room.
yeah.
It was a weird glitch. Like it looks really bizarre in this room when you we'll let you know when the dark cloud effect is subsided. So we're gonna be doing what's called grunt tech. If you like flip flop between up left and up right whenever you're pushing like these weights or any kind of pushable object, it cancels the push animation into itself, which looks and sounds funny, but it's also just outright faster. Because usually, like, the start of the push is the fastest, and then there's, like, a cooldown where it waits to do the next part. Alright, we didn't switch to Noil, we're good.
Aww.
What do you mean, aww?
Yeah. And, like, weird fun fact is that, for whatever reason, Roberta pushes things faster by default anyway.
I did not know that.
Yeah, she outright pushes things faster than Tor.
Interesting. But yeah, those weights get moved like a lot faster with this tech. It's pretty funny.
So now we're back to the speed tech. So we've created the distraction, and now we have to leave and go save the person. We're gonna do.
This is a relatively new discovery where you can wedge yourself in between this table and the wall, and you get a speed clip out of bounds. All of this stuff is still loaded, which is surprising. And then you can use that to jump back in bounds and get straight to this cutscene trigger, which saves a lot in movement because you get more out of your Mirka speed potion. So now we're going to hit a mandatory cutscene that we need to see where it's like, oh no, the way is blocked. So go the other way. It's really dumb.
Yeah, now we're just in escape mode. We're leaving because everything has hit the fan.
Yeah.
So there's an enemy in here that can actually give you slowness. If I do there we go. I got through it. Fine. You do the kind of slightly angled strafe run there. Kind of prevents him from attacking you when he spawns for some reason. Hasn't happened to me as long as I actually executed it properly. So shout out K-Cow for that. Now we have a little strat with this staircase here. So this is the endless staircase. There is a trick to it. We have to follow the statue's arms, but with a specific visual cue, we just turn around and then turn back around again. And then it's just a little bit faster. And we're out of Act 2.
Yeah, and so now our inventories are going to merge. We're going to have access to both characters. It's technically possible to gain access to Roberta in Act 1, but there's no reason to do that.
Yeah, not really reason to.
Yeah, and this is the only category where we have to fight the minions out here. It's a hard requirement because there is a part of the quest. There's like a quest flag where you have to. It irritates me, but it exists. You can skip this. There's like 3 different ways you can skip it, and they're all pretty tough. But the easiest way is by far to just kill the minions.
Unlucky with the grass.
Yeah. Okay, that was weird. I felt like that took a while to spawn.
Now we're out of here. So now Act 3 is kind of where the game really truly opens up, and you can kind of go almost anywhere.
Yeah.
Although the game kind of I wouldn't say nudges because it puts invisible walls everywhere, but the game really wants you to go to Brightvale, and I don't believe we're gonna go do that next. Or
I believe we're doing floating item glitch next.
Yeah.
Oh.
So the reason that I've delayed picking up a lot of items such as clovers, the Draconac teeth, and some starry eggs is for this glitch that we're about to do right now. So I'm going to come into this area where we have kind of an open path between a bunch of different places. We see the merchant cart over there. And I'm going to do a save. This is by design and part of the route.
That's not a safety save. That's setting up for the glitch.
And then if I pause and then buy the potion at just the right time. There we go. And then reload the file. We now have a friendly revive potion that's going to follow us in various places throughout the run. It's not going to be there the whole time, but from here on out, any item that we pick up does not have a cutscene. So that's most evident with the clover we just picked up there.
Yeah, essentially the game thinks that we're still like in an item pickup cutscene, so all future ones are kind of just ignored because of that. And that doesn't seem like it matters all that much, but with the amount of things you pick up in 100%, it adds up a lot.
So that takes, I timed it about 28 seconds to set up in that spot. And over the course of the run, the total time save, not just like the made up time, the time save is over a minute.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. All right, so we got the Dark Knights now. So we did a ledge fly. I mentioned earlier that we're intended to go to Brightvale, and there's a ton of invisible walls that are there until after you visit Brightvale and do some main quest stuff. But we just went up and over an invisible wall, and we're gonna go take care of Market Town right now. There's a lot of side quests that's involved in and around Market Town with the guild trading quest. And we want to get that started before we make our way to Brightvale. So that's why we're going ahead and saving Market Town next.
Yeah, so we have to return. We have to return here like, what was it, 5 times, 4 times?
It's
Something
pretty
like
bad.
that.
Many times.
So
Too many times.
the more times we do it early, that gives us more time to visit later.
All right, so assuming Deesh is going to go for it, we're going to see
I will, but brief safety save.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say. Yeah, please, yeah, be safe.
There we
But
go.
we're gonna see maybe one of my favorite ledge flies in the entire game. The Black Knight's Keep is a pretty lengthy area that requires like a lot of jumping and nonsense to get around. But there's a setup that we can do with what's called an upwards ledge fly to get past all of it. Hopefully this works. I think your character's looking at Black Knight down or Dark Knight down there, but this should still be fine.
Nope.
Ah, unfortunately.
So I'm not gonna go for it.
Yeah,
I think
it's not worth it.
I'm just gonna go for the mega jump. Unfortunately, that kind of tends to happen with the safety save. I actually probably should have saved at the start of the what's it called?
Yeah, nice mega jump. That mega jump's not easy either, by the way.
Yeah, I should have probably
just 'cause you
saved
don't
at
have
the
a lot
start
of
of the market town, but that's fine. So, if things had gone right there, I would have basically, this is not the strat I was supposed to do. Oops. That's fine though. I'll make,
good
just
job.
You can just clip out.
Yeah, you can
after
just
do
get
this.
out of here.
Yeah, hang on, where's the lever? There it is.
It's over there.
That's very silly.
Not
But, you know,
quite
it's
right.
muscle memory from later because we do that mega jump. In
Yeah, so
at
we
a
can
certain point
instead
not
just
too long
do
here.
a clip right here, and that gets us to the other side. This is how we like did this area for like generations until that upwards ledge fly was discovered. Which, in all honesty, probably not a big deal that you didn't get it anyway, because it's like, even if you do get the upwards ledge fly, it is possible to ledge fly in a way where the ledge fly never ends, and that's a soft lock, so some of them can be a little bit risky as a result. This ladder in particular sucks. I don't know why it's so bad.
All right.
Yeah, this is where that
normal.
would normally put you. It's like a little bit up and over here.
And then we have to jump twice to grab onto the vines because, of course.
Yeah, the ladders and vines are not your friend today.
So if the ledge fly had gone right, we would have just landed in this room right here, like in the staircase pretty much. But sadly, 'twas not to be. It was okay. So back to floating item glitch. An interesting thing to talk about is that obviously, since we can't get the pickup cutscenes for items, we can't use that to get cloak glitches back. So we're gonna have to be very inventive in a lot of places later on. Also, we can mega jump through the floor here.
What?
Yep.
Yeah, I love that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that. I think that's semi newer. I think, right? That's for a month or something.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't feel as
Charles
bad
just
then.
found that like a week ago too. So here we have
Thanks,
the
Charles.
Black Knight from Scooby-Doo Nice Wanderer Frights. And
This Black Knight's better than that one. That fight sucks.
Yeah, that fight does suck.
This fight's pretty interesting though. There's a bunch of different phases where it'll show like the Kingston armor, which you use. We usually just do this as Roberta, because it's a lot easier to hit these weak points. And so now we're gonna do that. And again, we're on the weakest one in the game, and we're still doing like a ton of damage because of the
Over here.
Supernova Moat and the Potion of Power. And it's also pretty tricky to avoid a lot of these attacks, because normally it's easiest to deal with by just shielding them with Tor. But you don't really have the luxury of doing that as Roberta. And then back up.
there we go.
One last hit.
And there
Nice.
we go.
Good fight.
Nice.
And now we just leave.
Yep. We're going to go ahead and do that same ledge fly that we did earlier, but in reverse to clip us through this wall. I think we will be coming back here a little bit later for some treasure maps, but
We're
otherwise
coming
that's
back
pretty
here
much
right
all.
now for that treasure map.
Ah,
Yeah, I think that's the one you buy from Monty, right?
Yeah,
that's so annoying.
it is, but oh well. Cheeky little.
Yes, we're going to do another cloak up, cloak
Cloak
dash.
I love that one. That one's fun.
So, a couple places here where we're going to see the effect of floating item glitch. Normally, there's a big old cutscene for getting new weapons, but just boop, boop, and we're gone. And then the same thing for every starry and red neg. But no, we just casually get them.
Yeah. If it helps you get a better idea of like how much time this saves, imagine in Mario 64 if it didn't play the star get animation every time you got a star.
Yeah.
That's like, it doesn't seem like it'd be a lot, but then it is, and you're like, holy crap. We're gonna mega jump up here to this guy. There's like, I don't know how you're supposed to talk to Monty, but it's definitely not like that.
There's a ladder.
There's a ladder back there.
Yeah, you have to climb up that. Then you have to jump across the rooftops.
That's so weird.
I don't know why he's up there, but because like it doesn't even lead directly to him. You have to go up onto the rooftop and then drop down onto the balcony.
Yeah, if you can't already tell, I never found those treasure maps when I was little. But
So coming back here, we're gonna do the same mega jump that I did by mistake earlier.
but on purpose this time.
Yeah. Well, on purpose, but it's correct. So there's a little strat you can do there when climbing over those like ledges where you kind of sidle along them is by letting go and then immediately jumping. So
Yeah,
now,
you can kind of do that running on air. Yeah.
because we picked that chest up as Roberta, she no longer has cloak glitches. Tor does, thankfully. So we're going to jump up here and then mega jump over that wall.
That
as
mega
Tor.
jump, nice. That one is so annoying. I've tried doing that one before. It's
Yeah, it can be
like
quite-
so easy to hit some collision and just be very upset. And we get to see the cloak dash here again.
Always fun
Whee!
So much fun. That's like one of my favorite like mundane things in this game is just the cloak dash. Because you just casually fling yourself forward.
And then we're gonna do the guild office back door. That door is mostly just there for decoration slash. Yeah, you can go through it, but it's like, you know, kind of a whatever. But it ends up being faster, which is really funny.
I mean, I like to use it on a casual playthrough.
I don't know how you get up there casually. Can you just jump up there?
No, like when you first enter Market Town, you go into the guild, you can exit out the back to get it a little faster.
Oh, right.
Okay,
Okay, that's what you mean. I was gonna say, I'm
yeah.
like, how are you getting in there the way we did without like a glitch? But you know that works. Yeah. So there's our floating item again.
There's our potion.
Yep. So I believe that the rule for where the item that we do floating item glitch with appears, I believe the rule is that it appears on any map where there exists another one of it.
I see.
Yeah, so because how the game does model loading is the models are loaded depending on the specific map. So if the item that we're hovering doesn't exist in that map, there's no model for it, so we can't render it.
So we did a ledge fly in order to... The invisible walls from Brightvale not being taken care of are still there. So we go ahead and phase back through the one in front of Market Town, and then we're going back out of bounds here to bypass another one. I'm not sure I remember where we're going at this point, but it's
Bog
somewhere.
shot.
Oh, Bogshot. That's
We're
right,
going to
Bogshot.
Bogshot, yeah.
Yeah, big time sequence breaking for this. So a lot of load triggers being hit in a very short amount of time, but basically this bit right here that I'm gonna upwarp onto is going to load in the Bogshot Swamp area, and then I'm gonna come around here and hit this plane up here, and it's gonna water warp me right to the middle of Bogshot Swamp.
Oh my god. Wait, that's awesome.
I know, I love it.
Yeah, it's a fun time.
You do that on all bosses now, too? That has to be fast.
Oh yeah. So switching to Roberta here because we have to open a chest as well as get a cutscene here that will take away our cloak glitches. So again, I explained earlier that when opening the chest, we lost cloak glitches as Roberta, but still had them as Tor. Whenever you lose cloak glitch, whenever you do something that takes away your cloak glitches, you only lose them for the character that you were at the time that you were playing as at the time, and the same goes for when you regain cloak glitches. So we get that cutscene and open that chest. Both of them take away a cloak glitches. So we preserve them as Tor, and then we jump over here.
Yeah, we're gonna attempt to do a really difficult ledge fly here. This is to skip a cutscene that normally plays. That is another one that can take away your ability to ledge fly, and we really don't want to lose that. So we managed to get through there. That was first try. That's a really hard ledge fly. At least I think it's really hard.
Very annoying because those guys can just
but,
kind of decide to hit you.
Yeah. And then we're gonna go get a couple more bog berries that we need from main quest, and then we're gonna go fight the boss. With maybe one of my favorite boss kill strats in the entire game, which I like to call the orbital missile. But we'll see that a bit later.
Yeah, so again, collect this as Roberta. A lot of this is very, like, crude. We literally just have to preserve our cloak glitches for one character, we literally just have to switch for, like, a second to collect something as the other. Nice. But yes, so this is going to be the Plague Serpent fight. Strat for this guy is quite specific, quite meticulous. We need to have the sword we got from Market Town just earlier, a supernova mote, and a power potion. So we're going to come over to the left up onto this platform, wait for him to attack, block it, and obliterate his face with the power of the sun.
Boom. Instant kill.
He's dead.
I want to say it was Senator who found this setup. I might be wrong, but
it might have been Hand DPF.
One of the two of them. I don't remember, but it was someone like. Either way, thank you for finding that, because that strat is so funny.
Yeah.
I love that strat because the boss just explodes.
So it's always fun when you can one-shot a boss.
Yeah. Also, fun fact, the water immediately around the boss normally gives you a game over, but once you defeat the boss, the game actually takes that away in a kind of a weird way. But if you fall into it, there's a line of code in the game. I don't remember exactly how it's implemented, but it literally just says you suck.
Great.
That's a fun fact. So, story here. Haven't gone over that in a while. Honestly, story's not very relevant at this point because we're absolutely destroying the sequences of everything. But for this area, we have a plague that is running rampant. And we have to defeat the serpent to get rid of it. And
we did. So now we're good. Yeah, we had to get some bog berries to create an antidote for
create the cure. So now here we are going through all the main quests and stuff, and a couple side quests, and then we're done.
We're gonna be setting up some side quests here, but we'll be coming back here a bit later, and that's because a lot of times, like, there will be like maps that will get in a different area that'll like point back to somewhere we've already been, so it just makes sense to make a second trip.
Yeah, the game has a lot of backtracking, which again sucks because there's no fast travel.
Yeah. Now we're gonna make a safety save here because I believe
this part can be a game over. I think.
Is there a reason you mega jump there? Is there like an invisible wall there?
It's just a little faster, I think.
It's just, just so he doesn't have to jump up a couple ledges.
Oh.
Faster to do the mega jump than doing 4 regular jumps.
Yeah. So coming through here, unfortunately these Draconacs do not give Draconac fangs, so we can't use them for that quest. But oh well. We're sure to get enough along the way, regardless.
Yeah, there's a couple things we get here. This is also a place where mega jumps save a boatload of time because those turtles are really slow.
Oh yeah, they suck. I dread them during glitching.
It's bad. It's bad. The opposite of good. So there's a couple things we get by coming this way. We get a couple of, I believe, growth pods and some flowers.
Yeah.
Both of which we need for some side quests. We're also going to get another Starry Neg, which is a magic pickup. Yeah, so we get the growth pods by killing these fellas.
Ow. So again, careful not to open the chest as Tor because we want to keep cloak glitches with him. For the most part, Roberta's going to be tanking all of our losses of cloak glitches. because she would have already not had them. So it doesn't hurt too much. And we're good.
Growth pods.
We can just head back. So now we're finally going to Bright Vale. And at this point in the story, basically wow, what is going on today? That's happening so much. We're supposed to have gone to Bright Vale right away, spoken with the king, done some research on what the heck can be causing all these purple clouds to take over everywhere, and then go around and free every place. But obviously, again, we do things in whatever order we want because we're speedrunners. So this part is mostly kind of vanilla. We have a lot of side quests to set up, things to buy, the definition, and then some research for main quest purposes.
And you briefly saw her there before we skipped the cutscene. That was the Darkest Faerie, who's the antagonist of this game.
Mm-hmm.
We see her, like, twice. Because we skip all the cutscenes she's in.
Yep. Yeah, so, like, for example, look at all these maps we get. A lot of these are going to point to areas that, like, it's just with the way all the routing works. We're also going to get a pet, which is a mechanic you don't really see all that often in speedruns for this game. Pet, you can feed it, and it'll give you a little buff, as long as you kind of keep its stamina meter managed. We used a silver egg that we picked up from I believe a quest a while ago, which should...
It's the Prunello's Charm quest, yeah.
Yeah, that's right, that's right. And that'll basically cause this doggo fox to be around with us for, like, a really, really long... It's like 15 minutes or something crazy like
no,
that.
it's like 40
2
minutes.
hours. It's like 2 hours, I think, isn't it?
Oh.
So...
Because I know a silver neg for the, whatever it's called, like the Termac or whatever, is 30 minutes.
So another interesting thing there is I actually opened that chest as Tor on purpose. So back to the strange criteria for gaining and losing cloak glitches. With floating item glitch, you can get your cloak glitches back if it's a normal chest like that, so not a mope chest, not a map chest, and it has an item in it that normally would have a pickup cutscene. And I think regardless of if you've even collected it or not. So yeah, really, really weird. I made like a whole
Nice.
copy.
That's a really hard mega jump. Nice, nice, nice. So you can kind of sequence break the order if you want to in which you do these books by doing mega jumps. You can kind of go in a circular order if you want to. Deesh is going to go for kind of the more standard order, which is right, left, back, and then middle. This just makes it a little bit more easier. You can, if you do it like the glitched way, you can actually cause some of these bookshelves to rotate into each other and like start Z fighting with each other, which I think is really cool. But
I think I might have just lost. Yeah. I accidentally jumped in the middle of the cutscene, so I lost low gravity, but that's fine.
Also, yeah, Doggo Fox with a silver neg is about an hour and a half.
Gotcha. Which we mostly want for the combat buff, I believe, and I think we're gonna get the Doggo Fox to someone else for a side quest later anyway.
It's gonna be a Noil, but at that point,
oh, the Noil, that's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
At that point, the Doggo Fox isn't really useful anymore.
Yeah, so we need to read all those books to like update our characters on the lore of like the Darkest Faerie and like what we need to go do, even though we've already been doing some of that. Those are just mandatory main story quest flags that we gotta do. So there's no like boss to kill in Bright Vale. It's just a matter of getting some knowledge. Well, there is going to be a quasi-boss encounter.
There is a
here.
boss. Psych, we don't have to fight him.
Yeah, it turns out that the easiest way to defeat the first fight with the Gellert Assassin is just to give up. You can just leave. And if you leave, it's just way faster. It's great. I was actually like workshopping like a way to skip that cutscene because I didn't realize you could just leave the fight. And then someone figured that out. I don't remember who, and I was just like, well, alright.
Yeah, I remember I was going through that in my first few runs, and I think it was Lizard who told me just like, hey, you know, you can just run away from that, right? And I was like, oh, so you can. Oh, nice.
Cool.
So more chests and stuff with Roberta. We're gonna start making our way towards Meridel, but we do have one more area to get to in this region with a bunch of stuff. Probably my least favorite in the whole run, Wereloop Woods, but it is also very cool, objectively speaking, so I'm happy to show it off.
Yeah, Wereloop Woods is like, in both all bosses and 100% has had like so much development to it, just because like all of the loading triggers and just like in Wereloop Woods are so weirdly put together.
It's a big mess, and like the main quest triggers in Wereloop Woods make no sense.
Wereloop Woods is done almost entirely out of bounds in all bosses. It's hilarious. So up this path, I want to be careful because I can just jump into the void and game over. So there we go. So quick noise warning for any headphone users. We have a loud noise coming up. Introducing Crack Spider. See if I can get it. There we go. The one spider in this game that everyone actually likes. He's still going, yes. He hasn't made noise in a while for me.
There's also a really bizarre thing with like the starry eggs in Wereloop Woods too, because there's like a starry egg. I think you get it here.
Yeah.
Right?
It's the culprit.
It's this.
Yeah.
This is the culprit. So, to be fair, this is more on me for not really listening properly to Lizard at the time, but basically
I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, you can just speed clip out of bounds there with the chest.
That looks so easy.
It is. I actually, the first time I tried it, I'm like, you know, let me try this. And I literally just ran very smoothly straight out there. And I was like, oh, okay. But
Cool.
basically what happens is for like permanent collectible items like negs and clovers, you can't collect two of the same one in the same area. So 12-leaf clovers and 4-leaf clovers are different. That's why we got them separate in Shadow Glen. But starring eggs, one of them will just not count. So that caused me a fair bit of sleep loss at one point in routing this category.
Gonna do a quick mega jump here just to get up and over the fence.
Yeah, because for whatever reason,
That was the most bizarre mega jump I've ever seen, but it worked.
I missed the second jump and then just did it again anyway.
Yeah, because the devs themselves forgot about that rule, so they put two starry eggs in the same spot, despite you not being able to collect both of them.
So coming
Which
up here... Oh, sorry.
Yeah, they do that a couple other times as well with like clovers and stuff.
So coming up here, we're going to see a mega jump that's going to get us out of bounds here. And the reason we're doing this is that there's a really annoying cutscene that plays with the Gellert Assassin here normally that would take away cloak glitches. So we really want to make sure that we skip that. All right, now we got a cool ledge fly setup. I can actually take partial credit for some of this here. Because well, except for that was all on Deesh.
Yep, that's all Jackson right there.
Yeah.
I do not associate myself with these executions of tricks.
Yeah, exactly. So we can ledge fly off of that sarcophagus right there and make our way all the way to the end of this section. We need to grab a main quest item here in order to satisfy Hunter requirements that we get from defeating kind of a dangerous enemy here.
There we go.
It's like really annoying to deal with, and then that's going to give us the thing, and we just get the immediate pickup, and then we're going to do another ledge fly that's going to get us out of bounds here. There's going to be another thing that we need to grab from a chest. I believe it's a red neg.
It's a map.
It's a map. Whoops. This is why you don't trust anything that I say ever. But
This category is on PS2, but the leaderboards are separated.
Yeah. The thing is that
Just
most of us who are crazy enough to run 100% just usually run emulator anyway.
yeah, I haven't worked my way up to it yet. I need to play all bosses again. Yeah, it's worth noting that like this segment right here, like you save so much time by doing all of these ledge flies because there's a bunch of like pushable objects that you need to move around on the different switches and levers, and it is so slow casually. It's actually awful. Yeah, now we're gonna swap back over to Roberta as we make our way out of this section here. That was pretty well done. There's like a bunch of little things that you kind of have to get right with some of those ledge flies.
Yeah.
We didn't really get the chance to talk about it too much, but ledge flying has like a bunch of different things that affect its properties. And so, generally, if you want to clip out of bounds and stay out of bounds with a ledge fly, you want to cancel it as soon as possible. And the quickest way to cancel a ledge fly, like I mentioned earlier, is to have the ledge fly like send you below like the wide position of wherever you set up the glitch. And so you can do that by instead like changing the direction that you're facing with respect to the ledge. So instead of being like facing like parallel or perpendicular to the ledge, you can like change your angle to the left or right. That can cause you to take a sharper decline. There's a bunch of little things like that. And so Deesh was doing some very specific setups to try to cancel those ledge flies early to be able to regain movement control faster.
Couple map chests in this area, and then we have the big one. So again, Wereloop Woods, very broken. The next area that we're supposed to have to get to is the Wereloop Burrows, because that's where the Wereloops, you know, mostly live, and that's where the Wereloop King is for us to fight him. The reason we have to fight him in the story is to take back Illison's charm that he stole from her. But yeah, so there are 3 levels to the Wereloop Burrows. There's the upper burrows, there's the middle burrows, and then there's the lower burrows. If I do the right set of movement here, and I'm looking at my map to just check for where I am, make sure I don't go too close to inbounds quite yet. So turn right here, brief upwarp onto that lane.
Nice.
We not only get to skip all the way down to the lowest level of Wereloop Burrows, we get to skip straight into the boss fight without even encountering a cutscene. And there we go.
Nice.
So
Nice.
Wereloop Burrows normally otherwise would be like, I don't know, 7 to 10 minutes. I don't really have an exact number on me.
Yeah, because your characters get split up and then brought back together.
And we're not supposed to fight him as Roberta either, because normally she's actually that cage in the background just then. She's supposed to be in that cage. But yeah, kill him. He's a little bit annoying. He's very feisty, but he's really pretty easy overall.
Yeah, the thing with Wereloop Burrows is that there's just not a lot of stuff we need to do in here other than kill the Wereloop King. So because of that, we can just kind of scoot right through, kill the boss, and then get out of here.
There we go. Open this chest with this moat in it. And again, even though we already have a lava moat, that was a normal chest with a pick-upable item in it. And so that gives Roberta back cloak glitches. And now we are going to just go straight back all the way out of Wereloop Burrows. Wow, okay. Rude.
We're going to do a ledge fly set up at a very specific angle so that it cancels the ledge fly right about here, so we land on a platform, then an immediate side flip just to get us off the sort of loading geometry. And then Deesh is looking for a specific setup right here that's going to cause all of that nonsense to load in up there. Nice, and then that gets us all the way to the top. That was really clean.
That
nice.
was, yeah, that was nice.
Once again, Deesh making everything look easy when it's not.
Yep.
Well, Jaxler said he played this game way too much. I play this game way too much. So, we are continuing. So, we're going to lose cloak glitches right away with Roberta. Just so happened to be that because we already were playing as her. Might as well get the chest instead rather than skipping switching both characters back and forth. And
having that extra lava moat will be nice for a boss later, but well,
yeah,
you know.
So we have a red egg in this map chest here. 2 for 1. We get a map chest and we get a health upgrade. You missed.
And then there's a clover.
And then we get a
over here
clover.
somewhere. Yeah.
Unfortunately, this clover often does not like to be collected. Okay, there we go. We took a moment there.
I'm pretty sure doesn't that one also spawn on the side of the camp or something?
No, I looked. Someone told me that, and I looked for it, and it wasn't there. No, I don't.
Yeah, no, I've seen it before. There is a freestanding one, but it's weird.
Interesting.
Yeah, I might have to look into it because I know it's there. I don't know if there's only there for specific circumstances.
Yeah, that's pretty much all of Wereloop Woods done in 100% it, which is really cool.
Yep.
We don't need to do anything more there.
And now we're
Oh,
out.
we have to go back. We have to go back. Well, actually, no. Wait, did we do Market Town for there already?
We're doing Market Town right now. Well, yeah, we did that on the first trip.
Yeah. Okay.
So we have
Because
a
I know
little.
like Sophie has like a. I know Sophie has a package there.
Yeah, we gave it to her. So now we have a little out of bounds path towards Market Town. And we have, so we started one of the longer, another one of the long quest chains in this game. So there was the Traders Guild delivery. So when we free Market Town, first off, for story purposes, they give us the Market Town Guild treasure. But also we talked to one of the people to start the Traders Guild delivery quest line. And then we have a set of 3 deliveries to do. So we're doing the second one right now. Shout out Chow's for this ledge fly. And so the first one was to Sophie the Witch in the hut in Wereloop Woods. The second one is to, actually, interestingly enough, it's to Tor's dad. He's kind of a middleman, though. It's basically something sent to him to fix, and then it will be given to Hunter Douglas, who we get the Draconac quest from. So
Yeah, it's also why we didn't bother to do the whole Draconac quest when we were there originally. Just because we need to finish that. We were avoiding visiting the guy twice.
yeah. And it's interesting that we can pick up the items before we actually start the quest. Alright. Get that. This over here. There we go, finally. And then we have one more map to buy from this guy. And then that's it. So now we have the fancy water warp to Draken Ridge.
Yeah. So this is going to look really funky. Essentially what we're going to do is fall into the water and then have it like basically slide so that we upwarp as we're like getting knocked out. And what this does is it essentially tricks the game into warping us to the wrong like water respawn point, which saves like a bunch of movement. It's so weird. I don't quite get it, but it's dope.
Hey. Huh?
Hey.
And we have another little quest to turn in
I love
there.
it when she says that.
Hey. Another quest to turn into her. That's kind of part of a chain. We're going to go back and turn the last part of that quest into Bright Veil later. Now we're going to collect a couple of these Draconac fangs. So kill these guys, turn into their fangs. Don't get the cutscene because, again, floating item glitch. Oh, ow.
Aww.
I didn't know he could freeze you.
Yeah, jag off.
Oh.
Did I get it? Hold on.
Did you get the
believe you
thing?
did.
Okay, yeah, I have 6, so that's...
Okay,
what I
you got it.
want.
I was worried because the items do despawn in this game eventually.
So, continuing with one of the quests we started in Cogham earlier, we picked up the stone that we needed for the one guy, but there is one last bit to that quest. Before that, though, a quest we started in Bogshot is here. Why do I keep getting that?
Game sucks.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's also that mega jump is also my fault. So
Yeah, that is also Jackaler's fault.
Yeah.
Actually.
yeah. I saw I was literally watching Deesh out Hundo and I was like, why aren't you just doing this mega jump to skip the whole area? And Deesh was like, what
Yeah.
do you mean? And then I
You've
recorded it,
done
and Deesh
a
was like,
couple of those for
"Oh."
this run, to be fair. Like, hey, just go around. Well, we'll see that one later, but just
That's
go
kind of
like
my whole
all
thing
the
with
way around
speedrunning.
this whole
I never
area.
find like the big stuff. I just find the little things like that.
To be fair, one thing we see later was pretty big that you found. Oh, so here we
Oh,
have
do we still do
the
that?
the assistant. So we're gonna get to go back to Cogham and turn this quest in. So another thing that we mentioned earlier was that you can't like get weapons downgrades. So we have the sword from Market Town, which is actually the most powerful sword we have access to until Underground Meridel, which will come a little bit later. Part of the quest line that we got that like green ore from in the mine just there was that we get it's for a sword. It's a cool looking sword, but the Market Town sword, which we have right now, is stronger than it, so we don't actually get it. We just kind of are like given it, quote unquote, and then it's just kind of not there. So
sword, my beloved.
for this part, we're not doing anything fancy to skip this area, just running all the way through. We have a couple things to get in a cave in this area. So we have, first off, we talked to the little mayor there. He broke his pocket watch, so he needs a new white crystal for it. I just realized how potentially scandalous that sounded when I said that. But
gamers, if we have a second, I apologize. I am getting pulled away by family, so unfortunately I'm not going to be able to. I really wanted to stick around for the whole run, but I'm getting IRL'd at the moment, so I just want to say thank you, Deesh, for having me. Thank you, really Longathon, for showing off this game and letting us do this. And follow Deesh on Twitch. But yeah, Deesh, good luck with the rest of the run. Sorry I had to dip.
That's all right. Follow Jaxer on Twitch, and thanks for doing this as well as.
Of course.
Yeah.
Good luck and out the door.
Thank you. What a goat. So, we collect the white crystal, and then collect a chest, a map chest, which also has actually the strongest shield spell in the game for Roberta.
Well,
so
non-cut one anyway.
Yes, the fastest that's actually accessible in the game. So now we're coming back to the...
This game has a ton of cut content.
Oh, yeah. So coming back to the main Cogham Square, we have a bunch of quests, or we have a quest, rather, there, and then some treasure maps and a starry egg to pick up. Oh my goodness, why am I reading books?
Man,
I'm a
really
gamer, I can't read.
That.
Why am I picking up books? I'm a gamer, I can't read. Anyway, moving along. That's, again, why we didn't get any of that stuff earlier, because we used floating item glitch to just skip the cutscene of it. There's also that cutscene trigger we got there is important for a main quest. So that's all taken care of now. We don't have to worry about it anymore. A side note about... What was it that we were talking about going before I started talking about the quests in Cogham? There was something that I wanted to talk about, and I forgot it. Oh well. I'm sure it'll come back to my mind. Oh yeah, okay. So cut content.
Yeah, that.
A couple of members of the community actually managed to get in touch a couple years ago with the original devs of this game, and they told us that roughly 25% of the original game's intended content was cut, which is a ridiculous number and very, very sad. So, shout out that fact. We're coming back this way. Oh, go ahead.
And the really cool thing about a lot of the cut content is a ton of it is still available in the code of the game. So there's a lot that you can actually still access, even if it's not fully playable at times.
Yeah. So we're going to Shadowglen now. We had to come back a little ways towards Farm Road to get to get a quest trigger. So we're going to do a speed clip then to get out of bounds on our way to Shadowglen Woods. And then we're going to run all the way around here and jump up in bounds where there is a map chest. And that's part of the reason we had to collect those map chests in Cogham, because one of them actually is here. Actually, I think, no, just one of them is here, yeah. So yeah, it would be a ridiculous detour to not collect that now. Oh, I got Blue Roberta. Nice.
Oh boy, let's go.
So, we went through earlier how there were 2 versions of the Ixie Chieftain boss. He's not the only one. We also have a second iteration of the Juppy monster, which was the actual first boss that we fought. So, within the story of the game, basically, wherever the dark clouds have taken over is the respective monster that we have to defeat. Doing another speed clip, by the way, to get up to the next chest, and then the boss area. Ooh, that was close. And actually, we learn it from a side quest that we're doing. The theory is that, from the characters in the game, that basically the dark clouds manifest physically what the people in that region fear the most. So for the people in Merryacre Farms, Tor's home village, that is Shadowglen Woods and the Juppy monster. And for the people in Cogham, that is the Ixie Chieftain. So basically it spawns more powerful versions of them. But here we have a second iteration of the Juppy monster. There's no cycle cheesing this time. Unfortunately, his damage is a little bit more based on thresholds, so we just kind of attack with the correct motes to get his damage down as quickly as we can. Ow. It doesn't matter though. Lure him onto the pumpkin, and then we have a little charge attack strat here with the lava mote, where we go right next to that little green dot there that's just floating, and we hit all 3 tentacles that spawn there. He actually gave me pretty good RNG there. That was nice.
Yeah, that was actually a really clean fight.
Yeah. And there we go, we're done. So we get back to Tor's farm. Thanks, Dad, says Roberta to Tor's dad. And of course, so a funny thing and a little qualm I have. So we're going to go through, for the next couple of minutes, some treasure chests, important items, and side quests. A little silly thing about the story of this game in this area. So Tor cannot damage, and it's the only boss that he outright cannot damage. He can't damage the second Juppy monster. Another silly thing is that there's no actual, like, FMV cutscene there. It's just kind of a casual, hey, thanks for saving us. Here's this thing that I found that's going to be useful for you, which we actually are going to use. Not only can Tor not damage that boss, but also there's no cutscene there. And you would think there would be both of those things present. You'd think they would make it so he could damage the boss, and that there would be a special cutscene there. Considering that's the most, like, emotionally important boss in the game, at this point in the game, for Tor specifically, because, like, you know, this is his home and everything, and his family and everything, so I just, I found that a little silly. Anyway, last map chest in this area. And then we're gonna do another speed clip. Not the exact same one that we just did, but yeah, we get a little one here to move down the line towards Meridel. And this is, we're continuing part of that long line of quests that we mentioned earlier. We have love letters. Oh, I already saved, actually. That's fine. So what I'm going to do now is this is actually another spot right here where I can do the fancy water warp glitch. But it's a little bit more difficult. There we go. So I switched to Tor there because it's significantly easier to hit that as Tor. Roberta's hitbox is really weird with that for some reason, so yeah. It doesn't save a whole lot of time, but, you know, I wanted to figure out how to do it for the sake of this, mostly. And now we have one last little thing to do in Cogham, which is turn in the fixed pocket watch to Mayor Jurgen.
Sadly, our dad is the only mechanic in the entirety of Neopia.
Yeah. Also, I switched back to Tor here when I wasn't supposed to. But, it's fine, doesn't matter. Actually, that'll make it a little easier here, because normally I would do a text jump up this hill as Roberta. Actually, no. Who cares about being and doing the run right? We want to do the run cool. Come on! Ah, not quite.
Aww.
There we go.
There we go.
So... And now we do not see Cogham again. Goodbye, Cogham.
Yeah, in a speed run, speed is second only to style.
Of course. Style points percent when? What would style points percent be? Just do all the cool things that don't exist in other runs.
You gotta get the drift.
Oh yeah, yeah. Drift. So now we're gonna actually come through and collect all these Draconac fangs from the small Draconacs. So, specifically, and I didn't actually mention this at the time, specifically, most item pickup cutscenes take about 2.5 to 2.6 seconds. So that means that each time that we pick up an item without its cutscene, we save 2.5 seconds. So that really does add up a lot, even just in this section. Like, we're picking up a total of 6 Draconac fangs. That means it's 15 seconds of time save in just this little minute here. So now we're going to turn all those fangs in, and also turn in the thing that we got from Tor's dad. And there we go. Always nice to see a fella out this far. And now, more sequence breaking, we're going into Meridel. So normally we can't actually get into Meridel until we've freed Illisen's Glade. But, again, we're speedrunners. We just do speedrun things. Ledge fly through the wall. Thankfully that worked. We want to get this cutscene right here. And then wind bounds here. And we're going to go to the underground Meridel area. Okay, thankfully I didn't despawn him. This guy can be despawned. It's not a huge time loss, but it is annoying. Not sure why it happens, but we just talk to this guy. These guys are the thieves. Actually, they're the same thieves that stole from us at the very beginning of the game. And so they want us to give them the Market Town treasure, which we already have, in exchange for giving us a way into the castle. So we give them that, we get under here, and we do a ledge fly out of bounds. This part of the run is one of my favorites. because it's one of the parts where things get really annoying. Like historically, this part of the game has annoyed, or rather, I shouldn't say annoyed, stressed out many a player. And we just get to skip the whole thing pretty much. Out of bounds, hit that trigger, it spawns us inbounds. If loads were a little slower, we could stay out of bounds there, which would be beneficial, but thankfully there's another way we can get out right over here, so. Biggie. Break that door. Come up onto this ledge. Hope that we don't get attacked by Broski. We didn't get attacked by him, and quick ledge fly out of bounds. And now we're looking to hit some of those location load triggers.
Yeah, but anyone who's played this game casually will be happy to know that we skipped the what's it called, like the I always don't know how to pronounce it. Like, because I always pronounce it like oubliette, but I don't know if that's like the actual pronunciation for it.
I don't care how it's pronounced. I hate this place. But in this speedrun, it's cool.
It's the omelet. There you go.
Yeah, the omelet. And it's it is an accurate nickname, funny enough. So we do have to dip in here for a moment, but we literally just get to come from out of bounds, kill this guy for the crypt keys, hit a brief area quest trigger over here, and then this is a ledge that we mega jump on top of. And then the ledge fly right back out of bounds.
And thus we've skipped it.
Here we go, all done and dusted. Also do need to be a little careful because way out in all of that right there to the right is a game over plane. So pretty easy to avoid, but yeah.
So the ETA on this game is roughly about 3 hours, give or take. So we still got another about, I don't know, 45, 50 minutes left. We got a lot of cleanup in Act 3 left to go through.
My best possible time on my splits right now is basically 3 flat, so doing pretty good so far. And now we're gonna just stay in bounds. We have a little bit more to do as Tor before the next boss. So open this door with the keys, and then, actually, okay. So normally I wouldn't do this because speedrun, but I'm going to play it a little safe here. What we would normally do is we would go to the other side and ledge fly straight into the next room, but we can just ledge fly out of here, run over here, and then trigger this whole thing, and then that opens the door to the fight. So we get a better sword, which is nice, but also we won't just ledge fly over the save point there.
Will we get good Undead Drake RNG?
Yeah, hopefully. So we want to fight this guy as Roberta just because it's faster.
Yeah, because this guy actually takes a set amount of damage per hit, and Roberta can hit him faster, so it's better to use Roberta.
And like, it doesn't matter if you have the twig wand, it doesn't matter if you have Fiora's rod, it doesn't matter if you have power potions or not, nothing. This guy always takes the same amount of damage, so we just spam him. Also, this is the best music in the game, in my opinion. Side note.
Oh no, does Sis count as in the game?
The best normally accessible music. Justice for Sist. Also, Darf is a really good theme, but that's
Darf
the game.
Is like, honestly, all the cut songs are really good. Like Hung and like, what was it, Load 3 or whatever, was really good too.
Yeah, I'm gonna collect a speed potion just in case. For the safety. Oh, nice. There we go. Okay, he didn't give me a tornado, which is really nice. The tornadoes that he gives can be really, really annoying. So, at this point, 2 cycle each of his first 2 phases, and then we can just spam him dead from then on out. And then another...
For like because like people are talking about it in chat, for like the calmer songs in the game, I definitely like the Meridell Castle theme. That one's a really good one.
Oh yeah. All of the music in this game is so good.
Yeah, for those who don't know, one of the people who directed the music for this game also directed the music for like Mass Effect and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I don't know how they got him, but yeah, they did.
This game has clout, by the way. They had the voice actor for the Clone Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi in this game. So, coming through this area, I'm just kind of wildly swinging because normally there are more enemies, but I guess they're not. So we want to run towards that lever, don't actually pull it, and then, because there's a floor quest trigger right next to it. And then we'll line this up very specifically. And do an upwards ledge fly to get out of bounds. The camera's gonna go on the fritz. And then to fix it, just switch to Roberta. And then once we get up here, I'm looking for that black dot down there, and then it disappears, but there's another cue that I can use. It looks like two little barrels. And we fall down onto that, and we are out of the fight. I love that room.
Yep, and for anyone who saw it, that giant cylinder you saw is a cut map of the game called Ancient Castle Spires, which sadly we don't visit, but you can visit using glitches in the game.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, if we're, you know what? If we're if we're really far below estimate at the end of this run, if we have time, maybe I'll load up the hacks real quick and go through it.
Yeah, it doesn't take too long to go through.
Yeah, we'll ask for some verification on that later. So once
we'll
again,
see if you mess up Act 4 first.
Yeah.
we'll see how those Mia mice do, and the Mortogs.
No, we don't do the Mia mice. We don't do the Mia mice in Act 4, thankfully.
Oh yeah, you're right. We skipped that now, but you still got the Mortogs.
So, another silly thing that we do to get cloak glitches back is pull a lever. Now, pulling that lever would be what we do anyway, just because we need to open the door to get out of Meridell Castle, and then we'll be able to just get right back in later, no problem. So we have cloak glitches with Roberta again. We're gonna go to Illisen's Glade. A lot of the same movement that or a lot of similar movement rather, that we saw on the way to fighting Narfis. And actually a lot of similar mechanics here. So the sequence to going to Narfis would look a lot different than it did here in other categories. But for Gellert Assassin, and to free Illisen's Glade, we trigger that cutscene, and now we are going to actually use the thing that our dad gave us. So by aiming at these very obvious like pylon things and pressing R2, we just shoot straight to them. And then switching to Tor here is not mandatory, and it's also not faster for the boss, but what I'm gonna do is another setup for an upwards ledge fly, so I have low gravity, and there we go. That is significantly easier to do as Tor because there's no real setup for Roberta, like just attacking and then being in the right spot. So I'll switch to Roberta as soon as this cutscene here is over, because we have the strongest wand in the game for her, and that is going to be absolutely overpowered for fighting this guy. So we have our Doggo Fox, we have Fiora's Rod, and we have our power potions. So we're just gonna spam attack this guy. We really do not want that to happen.
Yeah, that's not good.
He's not letting me hit him, but yeah, so you can see that it does a lot of damage when we finally hit him. Ow. So, try to keep him on screen so that we know what we're shooting at. Excuse me. There we go.
There we go.
So yeah, Jackson was saying earlier that like we have so many enemies in this game that just decide not to get hit. This guy is one of the worst culprits of that. So this is actually quite a difficult boss in the game. It's quite a good boss, but overall in the lore, this guy's really bad at his job because he attacks us one, there we go. He's dead. So he attacks us one time, and then when some puny basic guards come and distract him, he's like, oh, you know what? I'm done. And then he just kind of, from then on, just sends like a bunch of random casual enemies at us. And it's like, these are like the most easy things. We fight these every day as the characters. Like, you expect this really to be difficult, but we've defeated him, we have saved Illison's Glade, and now the only place left unfreed is Meridel Village itself. Here we have... Perfect. We are collecting a couple items here. Again, could have done this earlier, but floating item glitch. Come in this shop, get a golden egg, so that upgrades both our health and magic. Mega jump over here. And then there's a 12-leaf clover in this waterfall. We pretty much want to get all of the 12-leaf clovers that are in this game because, like, even if they're out of the way, which actually, really, most of them aren't.
Yeah, a lot of them are actually on the main path.
Yeah. Like, it's such a big boost that it's like, why wouldn't you? Like, it would be stupid not to.
Yeah, because at the very least, it's almost always faster to gather one 12-leaf clover than 3 4-leafs.
Yeah. We have 2 more quick chests to collect.
Yeah, and we're officially in the cleanup section of the game.
Yeah, so we've done everything story-wise that we need to do. And now we have a big sweeping cleanup of everything that's left in the Bright Vale region. So collect these chests as Roberta. And then, we still have Cloak Glitches as Tor. We're going to Market Town one more time, and then we're going to go one more time after that. Ooh, I just remembered about the gravestones.
Yep, I was gonna wait until we got to Prince Torin to mention them.
Yeah. So we have, this is, like the last time, this is a brief dip into Market Town just to start a couple more quests. We have the final part of Prince Torin's quest with helping him find his lover. So he was outside of Tor's farm before, but now he's over here. He fixed his carriage all by himself. And then we have the final bit of the Traders Guild delivery quest chain. Now we're going to go to Bright Vale Coast. This is one of the like really cool areas in this game that we normally don't get to see in other runs. It's like we have Step Plateau, which we went to just after freeing Bogshot, and then we have this area, which is it's very quiet and peaceful, even though there are like bandits there. So little.
Ah, yes, the nice, quiet and peaceful bandits that are blocking the bridges.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, if you think about it, the light guard, the lighthouse guard guy must be pretty strong if he can get past the bandits every day.
Yeah, yeah. If he holds them off, then yeah.
I am kind of sad we don't go into Mountain Passage.
We'll go there when we're done with everything in this part.
Yeah, because do we still? Yeah, because we get the golden egg there still, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm so used to it being like right after Market Town. I think we did it before, right? Market Town 1.
Yeah. But now we do it. We just do it later. Oh goodness, I remember. That was like the most atrocious routing ever. It was because I had just found out about the culprit, as we called it in Wereloop Woods, so I needed to find a workaround where we could get the proper negs. So I found this absolutely horrific out of bounds sequence to get through Mountain Passage, and it was just ugh. It was not fun, but thankfully it is fun now. So we come through here, get a couple chests. We're going to be spending quite a few minutes here in this part, actually, so yeah, it's quite nice.
Yeah, this is like this is one of my favorite areas in the game, just because it's like feels so, I guess, nostalgic and calm here, even with the bandits around.
Yeah.
Because it's one of the few areas where like it's always light. You have the nice ocean scene around you.
So there's actually kind of a story, like a side story related to this whole quest. So the culmination of the Traders Guild delivery quest is that we have to deliver it to that guy who's an undercover, or rather, I don't think we deliver anything to that guy. I think we're just sent to talk to him. We get plans from that guy who's an undercover thief who had his cover blown. There's basically a big plot to overthrow the King of Brightvale here. And he wants us to bring the plans to this guy that he trusts over here, who it turns out is the mastermind behind it all because he has the right to the throne or whatever. But yeah, we just kind of obliterate these guys.
Yeah, they're all dead.
Shockingly enough, I've never actually tried to just not fight those guys there. I'm sure you can do that, but yeah, it only takes a couple seconds.
I don't think I've actually checked that. Something to look at.
So now we have to come back to the lighthouse. And we have a quest. This guy just wants us to get through all the boxes stacked down there to turn on the actual light. And right here, this is actually one of the most recent route changes that I made, was collecting this clover instead of the clover in Haunted Tombs. Because we have the... ooh, I missed. Dang, I haven't been good at those this run.
Womp womp.
So normally I would have been able to jump right onto the ladder, or right onto this little crate that's below the other two, and been fine, but I missed. There we go. But yeah, it's thanks to floating item glitch, aka Fig, that has happened for that route change. So easy peasy, quest done, and now we get to go finish the Gellert Prince quest with getting the family lineage of Prince Torin. So his story is that he's trying to find his betrothed from Brightvale, and he finally gets to meet with her, but her parents rather don't believe that he's royalty and he needs to prove it. So we have this whole giant tomb here dedicated to like his family lineage. And we're gonna come through here and beat that guy.
once you leave here, you could always make a safety save if you want to come back for the tombstones if we have time later.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, you know what, I'll do that. So here we go. We have the book now. Try to save it over slot 2.
Yeah, and if any of the people watching are some of the dozen people who actually bought the demo disc, this area is actually where you would play in the demo disc. So you have to go through that crypt there, and that would be what the demo of the game was.
Alright, so there's a guy that we have to feed for a side quest. There we go. Sometimes these pets can just choose not to like come with you. Which happens very rarely, but it's still very annoying. So we have this is going through Mountain Passage. And by through, I mean around, out of bounds. So Mountain Passage is this whole winding, difficult, scary path between Brightvale Coast and Bogshot. Just kind of run straight under it. I don't want to turn too early there. There is a game over plane here, so got to be a little careful, but it's quite easy to avoid. So, and then we jump up into this room up here. And there we go. There's a golden egg in here. And now we're in Bogshot Swamp. So we have the side quest here is that there's a child that went missing in here playing hide and seek. The issue is not that he's like lost or anything, it's that there's an enemy in front of him. It's a slorg that is kind of blocking him in, and he's, you know, he's scared, he doesn't want to be eaten today. And there we go.
And it's dead.
We literally just have to defeat the slorg, and we just leave him on his own, because if we talk to him, he's like, yeah, I can just get out of here on my own. I know my way around this place. I've lived here a long time. Which honestly is fair enough, but he's also a child, so I feel like, I feel like, you know, it should have been at least like, talk to him and then it'll send him back, but I digress. Silly
Sadly,
video game logic.
Sadly, we're not going to do any more tog racing.
Yeah. So get that treasure chest, and then on the way out of here, there's one more. All the way over here. I'm getting hot in here, so I'm going to turn my fan on real quick. There we go. Oh man, I didn't. So a couple last little things to finish up in Bogshot, pretty much, and then we are going to finish up a few more quests across Brightvale. Let's see, where do I go now? Apothecary Fought.
Yeah, Apothecary Fought, the Worried Sister, and Evidence Sword.
Ah.
There we go, and so this is the side quest where the guy gives us the sword that is weaker than what we have.
It is cooler, though.
It's such a cool sword. Such a cool looking sword. We don't get to use it. I'm Roberta, I can't do Ledge Fly. So, doing this out here just for a little bit of faster movement towards Brightvale. At this point, we're now going to go and actually thwart the bandits' plans for overthrowing the king. and then
We must
finish
stop
up.
the coup.
Yeah. And then actually finish the last few side quests there. So this the last time actually we showcased this run was at the ARPGME marathon in May. The estimate then was 410. And the final runtime was about 341. So pretty crazy to think how far this this run has come down up till this point. Or the estimate is even lower than the finished runtime from that. So we come through here once again, just charge attack, kill them all. We have saved the day. Fun fact.
And for a reward, we get silver nag, which isn't very useful.
Yeah, so the king tells us that he gives us the kingdom's most prized treasure, which is 2 silver nags, of which we already, like get a bunch of. So there we go. We give her an oil, even though we don't actually really give it to her. She's just like, oh wow, thank you for giving me this oil, and then we keep it. So finish
Steal
this.
it. We give her a pet, and then we steal it back.
Yeah, pretty much. And there we go. That's the last of the side quests in Brightvale Village.
Now we get to run all the way back.
Yep, but we do have some more cool movement tech coming up after that. So, yeah. Honestly, I know that they're quite vanilla and usually don't consist of much, but these long cleanup sections are some of my favorite parts of 100% runs, just like in general. Because like I've speedrun Skyward Sword and Twilight Princess 100%, and I just, for some reason, I always loved the like end game mass cleanup sections where you get all of the, you know, non-story important stuff.
Yeah, because I think it's nice because like in like any percent and even like all bosses, you don't see a lot of the game. So it's nice, even if we skip a bunch of it, it's good to like experience more of the game.
Yeah. So, one last chest to collect, and we're going to switch to Tor because, once again, cloak glitch is coming up. So we talk to the prince, give him his family lineage.
And then we have to give the wilted flowers that we've been holding in our back pocket for the past hour.
Yeah, give her the flowers, we collect it in Step Plateau, and then, so this is actually the way we'd come to talk to Monty, the map seller, where we got the maps in Market Town earlier. His balcony is over there, but we're gonna come up here. We have low gravity from being on the ladder. Mega jump out. And then we're all on all of this. So now I'm gonna run towards this gap over here, specifically just inside from the left wall texture. I'll get a water warp. I'm down here. Water warp again. And there we go. We're in Meridell Plains. I'm going to switch to Roberta and run all the way to Meridell Castle from here. You missed. Stormtrooper aim.
I do safety check your clovers.
Yeah, I did. They're fine. I'll check again real quick, though. Yeah, they're fine.
They're fine.
You're doing the parent thing when you're leaving the house. Did you check for the 50th time this thing you have?
Did
Like,
you make
yes.
sure the keys? Did you really make sure the keys are in your pocket?
Yes, Mama Lizard, I checked for my clovers. But, I'll make a quick safety save here, why not? So, gonna do something fancy again here. Again, we mentioned earlier that pulling levers gives cloak glitches back, so we're gonna pull this lever again. Oh, I forgot there was a save point right inside the castle. All this time running this game, and I still forget those things.
Don't you need that Meridel save point anyway for later, or do you have a preset one?
No. So, as we come through here, we do ledge fly on that staircase. I can't seem to hit this one for some reason. There we go. So, these guys' models are just loaded. Normally, this is the next boss we're supposed to fight. They're just kind of there. But they don't do anything because, like, their actual aggro hasn't been activated. So I ran to the left side of that hallway beforehand, and that's going to be a little bit useful to me in a moment. So now we come down here and do the actual minion gauntlet, which spawns their aggro. Just supernova mode charge attack, and then it doesn't quite last long. So, and he hit me. There we go. Just kind of casually destroy them. And now, so we spawn immediately in that cutscene because we went to the right side of that hallway earlier. And then we just destroy these guys. All right, now for the culture. We are back in Fairyland. We can save as much as we want and not lose our cloak. So,
oh boy, let's go.
Eating this guy. And there we go. Clip through the fence, and I just sidle along this way. There we go.
There you go.
So we get to see this hidden tower when we feed the Meowclops. It's the only use for the Meowclop pet in this game. For this,
I mean, it slowly refills your magic.
Oh yeah, that too. So,
but yeah, it's the only unique use of it.
Yeah.
Which is weird because it's like they set it up and you would think it'd be used in more places.
Yeah.
Like, especially some of, like, the crypts and stuff like that. It'd be really cool if they, like, revealed the hidden objects in there, too.
I feel like I had a theory at one point on, like, what I thought another use of one was going to be, but I don't remember what it was. So, anyway, now we're in Fairyland to save the Darkest Fairy, not save the Darkest Fairy, defeat the Darkest Fairy.
Oh no.
Save Queen Fiora, the Fairy Queen.
This is the evil playthrough.
Yeah. This is the pure dark path in Shadow the Hedgehog.
Yeah, the only way we can save her is fixing her boss fight.
Oh my goodness. So we come through here, keep getting yelled at to do various things. He sends us on a portal to Altador, and that is where Act 4 starts. I know go into the portal. And there we go. So this is Act 4.
And a weird fun fact about this area is there are these mosaic pieces around that you have to collect. For whatever reason, if you save the game and leave, they despawn, so you are soft locked.
Oh. So, come through here. We have to collect 2 quest triggers from 2 specific statues there. Let me just triple check to make sure I got them. Okay, I got them. Ah, crap. Well, this run isn't 100% anymore, but that's fine. It's not really a huge miss for the purpose of showing the runoff. I had a feeling I would miss that treasure. I've still been having trouble remembering it. But, yeah, there was another treasure chest in Draken Ridge that I forgot. Oops.
Actually, is your clover count fine then? Because that was a clover.
It was, so my clover count is not fine then. But again, for the purposes of showing off the run, it's not a huge miss.
You see, that's why I wanted you to check your clovers.
Well, unfortunately, the clover count in that at that part of the run is not like super. It doesn't show very well, just because of like the way that the clover bar is. But
look, that guy dropped the sacred treasure of Brightvale.
It's hilarious. 2 silver eggs, Pog. So these guys, stubborn frogs, we have to put them all on this pressure pad to get the door to open. And they're very stubborn, but thankfully they weren't too bad this time.
Yeah, I've had worse.
Yeah.
That was an alright one.
I'm gonna save again. So now we're gonna die. And we're gonna do a very cool trick once that happens. So, excuse me. Just waiting for him to attack. There we go. It was actually a fairly quick death. So now we are tore.
Yeah, was this discovered before, or was I the one to discover this one?
Oh no, this is not the revive warp. So, come up here and we do a ledge fly all the way up here. Now, this is an upwards ledge fly, so we're kind of going to be shooting off all the way into space, but there is something we can do to stop that. Since Roberta's dead, we have a potion of revival. We can revive her, and that will stop the ledge fly animation right over top of this building. There we go. And we fall in. And there we go. So we can actually ledge fly past this room, but unfortunately the next thing that we have to do doesn't spawn until we've finished through this room. So we're luring the Harrises into the light.
Which for some reason these are light aligned.
Yeah.
So if anything, the light should just make them stronger.
So we're not even able to like actually get their health down. But I'm just attacking them to aggro them on me as quickly as possible. They're quite blind.
You know, I wonder what happens if you do kill one. I could probably manually set that
Fauna
up.
comes back and dooms your soul to the Shadow Realm.
Like, I wonder if it would just soft lock.
Actually,
If
yeah,
it would
that's a good
spawn another
point.
one.
I wonder if you can, like, hack their health down to 0 like that. Probably can.
I can try. I can try it. I can do it with other enemies.
Alright, now we have more Winnie hurting. If they're anything like as nice as they were to me at the start of this run, this is going to be very quick. Though they usually are pretty nice regardless, this specific set of them. I suppose it's because they're on flat ground and they don't have much, like, terrain to misinterpret.
Yeah, these ones usually aren't. Usually these ones aren't too bad. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
That was clean.
So now we're done.
Yeah, which what we're actually doing is we're going through these and like saving the legends of each of the districts, so that way they can come together and help us save Jordana, and then Jordana would help us defeat the Darkest Faerie.
Yeah. So, collecting some extra stuff now. Also, another thing that I forgot to mention earlier, when we were in the first area that we spawned in Act 4 here, we only collected. So there are 4 districts. Each of them has kind of like a patron hero of Altador, and there's a bunch of statues around. And certain main quest lines are started by talking to the respective statues. 2 of them work fine, however, 2 of them are broken and can't actually be cleared from your quest list. So we really can't require them to be gotten. So yeah, it's just kind of annoying in that sense. So this little action of turning these statues is actually very much like pulling a lever. It also gives back cloak glitches. So I open this chest, and this is actually a little bit of a money routing strat right here. Open this chest. And I'm gonna turn this guy all the way around and let the money keep flowing out of the chest, because that chest spawns about 3,000 Neo points. And there we go. Go back and collect it. And we can come down here. So for anyone who's played this game, this part of the game is really, really annoying. It's probably universally the most hated by anyone who's played this game. This is the sewer shrine. It starts off with a very annoying freeing yourself from a trap sequence, followed by a very annoying stealth sequence. We get to skip all of it.
Did you see my video on the stealth section?
Yes, I did, and it's very annoying. That's so weird, but it does make sense that that's a thing. So hitting a lot of loading triggers here quite deliberately. That's okay. There we go. Hello? That was weird. That part normally doesn't despawn like that. So now at this point we need to be a little careful. After all of the stealth section and the trap section, we have an obstacle course. If I fall down, so there's a big void plane. If I fall down into it, it forces me inbounds and into the obstacle course. But if I run just right around it, we can jump in and enter the trigger for the cutscene that just puts us right in here, and there we go. We've freed the Bazaar District and Sewer Shrine. Hello, nice camera. Talking to this guy has a bunch of treasure maps. And then we have a few purchases to make in here, in the bazaar. So a treasure map, the final shield, another treasure map, and what should be the last clover of the run, but I did an oopsie. I don't think there are any more clovers to collect in Altador, so can't really fix that part of it right now.
Let me see. Yeah, there's only the one clover in Act 4.
Nice clip into the fountain. Okay. Anyway, this is the Arena District and Arena Shrine. The objective for this part is simple. Fight 3 hordes of enemies and demolish them all. step on these little pedestals and just do our charge attack with a power potion. Ooh, that was quick. Alright, that was actually quite nice, and I got to spawn right in front of the door.
Yeah, that was actually pretty good for the arena fight.
Yeah. Now this area is freed. We have some more. That's the formula for this, for Altador, is basically the same. It's just you free the area, you get some collectibles and maps, then you rinse repeat for the next 4 areas.
Yeah, and Act 4 in particular is annoying to route because all of the districts have maps for all the other districts, so no matter what, you have to visit some of them multiple times.
Yeah. So, and basically, as it happens, the order that we ended up going with, excuse me, or like the very first iteration of this route has stayed that way for until today. There's really been no developments on doing another district first being faster. So we started with the Park District, and then we're ending with this last one, the Money District. The Money District is the last one, and we only have to return to the Park District and then the Bazaar District, which was the second one that we did.
Yep, and then something you'll notice about Act 4 is there are no side quests here. And so now that we're in the Money District, there's actually, I think it's this one, there's supposed to be a side quest here, which is called Postmaster Tilbar.
Yeah.
The devs did an oopsie and accidentally put him in the wrong asset location for the game. So the quest is done, it works fully, but the NPC doesn't spawn unless you force load him.
I'll save that as well.
Which the forced load for Postmaster Tilbar, at least as of right now, we have not found a way to do it on emulator, so it's not in this run. But you can do it on console.
Yeah, because emulator loads too fast. So, again, in continuing with the theme of just kind of casually skipping over everything, we have a pretty lengthy, actually, the Treasury and Money Shrine isn't that bad to go through compared to Sewer Shrine, but it's just kind of...
It's just tedious.
Yeah, it's just a little bit of a long section, and we get to skip through it all. Free Gordos, and I think this one is my favorite music of all the Altador districts. One more treasure map.
I don't know. I might be particular to the light bazaar theme.
That's actually might be my least favorite one. They're all really good. So saying that it's like my least favorite is not a knock on it. So I'm actually gonna come over this way real quick. You can see there's a little squirrel guy over there, but if I get closer, he despawns. Traditionally, I like to attack the area where he stands, so we do that. Get another treasure map and then leave. So now we're just kind of cleaning up this area. Getting 5 more map chests. And being done with it.
Yeah, we're definitely going to be a good bit underestimate.
Yeah.
Nice.
I get to go show my, I get to show the funny jokes.
Yeah, because for anyone who hasn't seen a speed run of this game before, we're basically skipping the end of it.
Yeah, so we have even more just like casually skipping massive chunks of this area coming up.
Yeah, so if anyone's sitting here and wondering, and well, they're not that close because they have a whole another area to do. Yeah, we don't do it.
That's that honestly is the best answer for like how do you go through this area in the 100% speed run? Oh, we don't. Like us, obviously for some that's not the case. We go through Meridel Village, but yeah. So basically, the end game part is that we have one last hero to free, is Georgiana, and she has her own whole sequence in the main building in the middle, and then we get to free her, but nah. So we are finally done. That is all of the treasure maps and chests. Not just in Altador, but in the game, except for one. And
All of them with a little asterisk.
yeah.
Did a little bit of an oopsie.
All of them minus.
Which, because it's relevant, one of the issues with this category is it's so difficult to keep track of everything and make sure you're actually doing everything correctly. There's so many things to keep track of.
Yeah. Especially when there's like a route change and you're so used to a certain bit of movement. But so we have the trials skip now. We're coming down this elevator, which we're not supposed to be even close to at this point. 99%, yeah. Unfortunately. But again, it wasn't a big miss. Like, it was literally 2 seconds out of the way, and it's very unspectacular. It's not like I missed, you know, a final wand or something. Jump through this wall. Fall down here, and then this puzzle is pretty obvious. We just attack each pedestal with its respectively colored moat.
Yeah, and it's relevant here, but we mentioned earlier how there's 2 different attack buttons. So that's how he's equipping moats and attacking at the same time. He's using the second attack button.
And now we have an incredibly climactic, difficult boss fight.
The hardest fight in the game.
Yep. So unique to all the other bosses in the game, the Darkest Faerie is purely number of hit based. So run out or get deflected back. Why, you mean person. Okay, well, I missed the attack. Fine though. Spin attack once. Oh, I almost got the block there. That was quick. Spin attack twice. Preferably, we would get all the way out of her range with the spin attack. And then I tried to do another spin attack there, but messed up.
And we win.
And there we go. Just attack her 3 times with Roberta. It's unfortunately a very, very anticlimactic boss fight, but there we go. Rip the Draken Ridge treasure. So get ready on time. It's coming at the end of this next cutscene here. As soon as we walk into it. And time.
We
All right.
owe you many thanks.
Now we have the
Because of
magical
you,
credits of this game
Altador
coming
is
up.
restored to Neopia, and Neopia
Actually, the
is
credits
safe
music is pretty
from a
good,
most
but
pernicious
final
influence.
cutscene.
The Darkest
1 second
Faerie,
off from
if you
exactly
ask.
304.
What became
Yeah.
of her? Don't worry.
Crying shame.
She's been placed somewhere we can keep a close eye on.
I should have
her.
waited another minute for it to get exactly 305.
It's that minute you saved from skipping the Draken Ridge treasure.
Right, so I know we started a little bit late. Do we have like 5 minutes? Tops, at the very most. Yes? Alright, perfect. I am going to actually quickly reset my emulator with the hack menu on. So, going through all this. What I wanted to show is something specific in Brightvale Coast. Alright, so let's see. I have the spreadsheet up here. It's OX20. Brightvale Coast.
Yeah.
Alright. Brightvale Coast. So, heading back to where the Gellert Tombs was. Something a little funny I got for y'all. So this whole area is a graveyard. All of the tombstones have little jokes on them. So we'll start with just this one. This is not the end. There remains the litigation over the estate. I'm just resting my eyes. Death gives us sleep, eternal youth, and immortality. Where was that when I was alive? All of these tombstones have silly jokes on them. Beneath this sod lies another. Always make sure your fencing partner knows you're spying. So, yeah, I'm sure there's a video explaining all of these, or like going over all of these jokes. But these are just silly little horny quips written on people's. I do not understand this one. The world applet. Anyway, yeah, that's pretty much it. Walk through a couple more. Let me see. One more thing I want to look for. Purple fungus ball and mud tea. Should have known it was poisoned. So, pretty much done here. I'm actually going to just go back to one area here to show where the chest was that I missed. Oh, wow, we're already... It put me right there.
Yeah, that's where it spawns you, yeah.
So, yeah. That way is Cogham. That way is Meridel Plains and Meridel. So we would have just dropped back down here and then... over here, gotten this chest, got the clover. I also love how I started making fun of you for being my mother and making me check everything, but I actually didn't end up having everything.
Because I thought we were off by one.
Yeah. So, oopsie, but there we go.
How long do you think how long do you think spires would take? Probably a little too long.
Spires, going through them.
You can maybe teleport and at least check the show, people. It's 67.
67. Okay. Yeah, we won't go all the way through them, but so
yeah.
In between. So this is part of the cut content we were talking about earlier. I'll come back here to show the beginning of it, the intended beginning of it. In between, where the Knight's Crypts are, or where the last area before the Undead Drake fight was, and the Meridel Treasure Vault where we fought it, there was intended to be this area. You can actually access it normally in the game by doing a series of ledge flies. Check out Monster860's YouTube channel to see that, but we would come through here, and this area is so cool. So basically, in the game's story, and this part isn't cut, there is actual, like, lore in the game about how there were, like, past castles of Meridel that were variously destroyed by, where are you? They were variously destroyed by certain natural disasters. So we come through this whole massive cave with these, like, spires that have really cool designs on them. So unfortunately this area was cut, but at the same time, fortunately for speedrunners.
It's probably not that bad to speedrun through.
I'm sure it's not that bad.
You can skip half of it.
But yeah, there's actually a part of this area that's in the trailer of the game, which obviously, you know, we don't see. It's like big purple lasers.
I think it's in the second tower.
Yeah, it's in the second tower. I don't remember entirely how to get there, and also I might fall down. But
I think there's like a vine thing over here that then brings you
there we
up.
go.
Yeah, because this area is cut content, but it is it's basically fully completable. You can actually go through the whole thing with some minor inconveniences.
Wait, what?
And then, well, speaking of minor inconveniences.
I went the wrong way. It has the same music, it appears, as the sewers, but yeah, that's basically it. Just, oh, I missed. Just a fun little area I wanted to show off. That's pretty much it. So I don't want to take up too much more of my time here. Thanks, really Longathon, for having me. Thank you, Lizard, for commentary. Thank you, Jaxler, for commentary. And also for finding so much crazy time save in this category. So I'm still looking for better times in this category than my current PB, so I'm streaming it pretty much every day. And you can find the Discord at speedrun.com/neopetstdf, where we have a very passionate Neopets loving community there. And
if anyone is interested in speedrunning this game but doesn't necessarily want to spend 3 hours at minimum on a run, Jaxler has any percent tutorials on his channel, and Deesh also has all bosses tutorials on his channel.
Yeah. And all bosses is about an hour long. Any percent's about 40 minutes long, so pretty good length runs for long sessions. And that's about it. So, yeah, whatever we need to do next.